including of all the evidence, but it should be. I agree. It should be including of all statements of evidence, but sometimes that is not possible. Officers are returning from chaotic scenes or mainly driven by adrenaline. They're mainly trying to decompress, trying to process and be able to put their thoughts on paper.
Rebuttal.
Go for it.
While I understand the duress a trooper goes through, we've already established that there was more than enough time in the pre-trial leading up to this case for the troopers to have gone through all of their evidence and record all of the facts. Whether or not the trooper is of a level of experience to have recorded all of that is not the fault of my client, and that burden of proof still falls upon the state. It is the state's responsibility to take someone from a supervisory role and have them review those reports and ensure that all that information is there. My client should not suffer because the state did not do its due diligence.
Although sloppy and mismanaged, yes, the state largely did their due diligence.
Rebuttal, Your Honor.
Oh, I had a feeling it was coming.
I beg to differ, and the part of a crux of our case relies on the fact they did not complete their due diligence. They acted simply on what they saw and did not complete a thorough investigation. They took a statement from one individual and are relying solely on the statement of the masked individual to my right here, who they didn't even take the time to GSR while he was involved in this scene. They did not do their due diligence.
Rebuttal. GSR was positive in the report. Sorry.
That is correct. It does state that on their victim.
My mistake. I did not see that, and when I asked if he was GSR'd, I was told no.
Yeah, you can't trust your client.
But matter of fact,
Let's make it look
it's-
stupid.
it's a
How many times this happened to
it's a
me?
matter of
No, they
fact.
didn't do that.
Yes,
Yeah,
Major.
They
What would
make
you
it
like
look
to say?
stupid when in court.
I think she said she needed to be uncuffed to drink something because she's really thirsty.
Looks
Yes,
so
I
stupid
can
in court.
uncuff her.
But the matter of fact, ma'am, is that we're here today on a matter
To
of
discuss
hearsay
these
between two
charges, and
clients.
so far it's been a bitching complaint about what PD has and hasn't done.
Your Honor, I'd like to move forward by discussing the actual charges and not about semantics. We've already
Please.
established we've done due diligence and we've already discussed that before trial. I'd like to summon Lucas Lloyd, always known as Blue Bionic, to the stand for questioning. Just want to stand in the middle there, it'll be fine. All right, Your Honor, should you sworn him in, or are we fine to begin with questioning?
We're fine to begin with questioning.
Lucas Lloyd, where were you during the incident?
I was just down the street from the mall, parked on the side of the road.
When did this incident occur exactly?
Like time?
Roughly.
I wasn't paying as much attention to the time, so I can't really give an actual answer to that.
During your presence at the mall, what did you see?
I had parked on the side of the road, and I had heard a bunch of gunshots going off, and I had witnessed a pink wedge car crashing into a building. And then there's three individuals, possibly more, but I only saw three, walking up to the car. One of them 100% had a gun. And then the individual who had been shot within the car was then taken out of the car by two individuals in white outfits and then carried away. I also had witnessed one of those individuals in the white outfits picking up what appeared to be bullet casings on the ground. And those individuals then took this person, tried to hide them behind some boxes, and they then pulled out machetes. And then I had asked what was going on because I was curious, and there was just a shooting going on. And they said that they were doctors, and they said that they were trying to treat the person. That was before any of the then following shooting happened. Did you want me to continue?
Mhm.
Okay. So then after that, because, there was a shooting going on and I was very on edge, I had my gun already at my side while I was inside of the car. I stepped out of the car with my gun when I was asking what had happened. And they slowly started walking towards me, informing me that they were doctors. I was, again, curious. I was asking if that was true, if they had any proof of that. And they kept advancing, and I had warned them, please don't advance or I will draw because you guys have machetes. And I was very on edge. And then one of them took a swing at me. So then I started firing my gun back. And after I fired off a few shots, I was sliced numerous times, and then one of them pulled out a gun and shot me down. And that is all that I had witnessed.
Coster, did you have any additional questions for Lucas Lloyd here?
What did the person walking towards you with the machete look like?
They had a white outfit on. They did have a mask. It looked pretty much, very much like that whole outfit, but with a mask.
Did at any point... never mind, I'm going to hold off on that. Continue it here.
Was there any response from law enforcement on the scene?
There was, after I had been shot.
Was there any other individuals on scene that were injured?
There was the one person that was in the pink wedge vehicle.
I do not have any additional questions at this time, unless you do, Coster.
No.
Alrighty.
How you doing, Mr. Lloyd?
Defense.
I'm doing all right.
Good to hear. Hey, were you seen by a doctor?
Yes, I have.
You have the medical records?
Sorry, pardon?
Did they give you like a medical record or report of your injuries?
They didn't give me like a proper report, but they had told me that I had been slashed across the chest 2 times and I had been shot as well.
Understood. Hey, what's your profession, Mr. Lloyd?
I don't have any specific.
Objection,
Define.
relevance?
I'm getting to relevance. It establishes credibility.
Okay.
Move on.
Move on, as in, like, don't continue this.
Move on from that question.
Why are you masked here today, Mr. Lloyd?
Because I always wear this outfit and I wear this mask to basically protect myself because I try to help people and some people don't like that.
In what manner?
In what manner do I help people?
Yes, sir.
it can be anything from just making sure that people are safe, making sure that people aren't being harmed. There's a lot of violence that happens, and if there's no one around who's able to help, I will try and interfere the best that I can within the confines of the law.
So you take it upon yourself to interject into situations that you feel that you could be a help.
More or less, yeah.
Do you always report this to law
Yes, I do.
enforcement? Do you know me, Mr. Lloyd?
From remembering correctly, yeah.
What interactions have we had?
Objection relevance.
Again, leading to the same credibility.
What does this have to do with you, Pierce?
He just stated that he reports every interaction that may lead that he has to law enforcement, which may be criminal.
At this time, we are discussing about your client's situation and about you.
Yes, sir.
Specifically.
And your entire case revolves around this individual's testimony. So I am calling into question his credibility.
Continue with the question, Mr. Pierce.
And so, what interactions we've had?
Yeah, I mean, just recently.
Yeah. So we had gotten into a vehicular accident,
Mhm.
which resulted in your vehicle being blown up, and I had to take you to the hospital because no EMS was responding.
Mm-hmm. Did you report that to the troopers?
I did not.
The excessive speed, running a stop sign, etc.
No, I did not.
So do you always report to the troopers the actions that you take?
More often than not, yes. It
More-
depends on
more-
the situation.
Yes or no question. Do you always report to the troopers the actions that you take?
No, not always.
So if you don't always report to troopers the actions that you take, how can we be sure that any testimony that you've given here today is complete and accurate?
Because I'm honestly not sure how to answer that.
No further questions.
Prosecution, anything else?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
Silas needs to do a little bit better about objections.
Step away.
He was just doing all the objections, but there are some other objections he could have done
Well,
there.
sir, I don't think we need to summon any more witnesses, do we? Should be fine for now, Your Honor.
All right.
Hmm.
Defense, anything else?
Honestly, the defense is ready to just give closing remarks.
I'd like to say that Lucas Lloyd is free to go. I do believe that according to his testimony that was presented here today, that it does clearly solidify the fact bullet casings were collected. The suspect here had shot the guy and Lucas Lloyd. Sir, unless you have anything else to add to our closing remarks, and no further things to say.
I believe we have presented what we need to present on both the assault and the obstruction charge. No further comment.
What were those charges exactly?
Your Honor, as stated earlier, the charges we are here today about is assault and obstruction of justice.
In terms of the obstruction of justice, I'm finding you guilty.
Do we have closing statements, ma'am?
I think I asked both of you if you wanted to go. If you want to talk, go for it. I'll wait.
I think it's on you first, Silas.
I've already given my closing remarks, but
Okay.
I've heard you wanting to give them as well, so I'll let you at this time. Please proceed.
Your Honor, the crux of the entire state, the crux of the state's entire case today revolves on testimony from an individual who has had run-ins with the police on numerous occasions in the past, and through his own admission, omits facts and doesn't report everything to the police. The rationale and reasoning for that, one cannot know. My client was involved in what is been stated by the troopers themselves, a chaotic situation where she was defending herself. The troopers, through their own actions, decided to take the word of one individual over another. As far as the obstruction of justice goes, ma'am, at the time that these bullet casings may or may not have been collected, there was no active scene. The troopers were not on scene at that point. The state has no legal jurisdiction over items in the street. Once troopers arrived on scene and started remanding and demanding orders, my client was completely cooperative and surrendered herself to their custody. That's all, Your Honor.
In terms of the obstruction of justice, the photo was taken, I can only presume, by officers on scene.
I believe it states in the report that it was taken by the masked individual.
Where does it specify that?
Pretty sure Theodore dealt with this one.
It states that he was, well, I'm sorry, it just says photograph, but in his own testimony, he also said that he took the photos, I believe.
Yeah, I dealt with the other guy. With the Quindius, but I didn't deal with this guy, I'm pretty sure. I remember coming down and seeing Theodore dealing with him, and I remember thinking that he was going very hard. In what seemed like a tension-grabbing sort of way. For no reason, I'm sure.
All right. Photos were taken by Mr. Lloyd, not by PD.
That would
Officers were
explain why
not
the
initially on that scene by the
Uh,
looks of it when she was picking up that evidence.
they say they were coerced into drinking guilty plea.
Is that a correct assumption?
From our angle, yes, that is what we believe, man.
Officers,
Your Honor, I can attest upon my honor that those photographs were received by Mr. Lloyd. I arrived after the two individuals at the second scene were being treated.
I am not seeing enough evidence in the state to find you guilty via the charge. Medical report. Hell, bring the doctor down here and she can say what they saw. Officers not being on scene and someone collecting the evidence, or in this case, trash, and then officers respond after the fact. Who are relying solely on the statements of the witnesses. Mr. Pierce, your client is free to go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything else?
Nope.
See this one. Do you get your belongings and things?
Good work, all of you.
This is our best.
Ugh.
I'd
you,
like
Your
to
Honor.
apologize for
Let's see.
Oh,
what I could.
We'll have
No.
security privately.
Alright.
Can this case be mentioned in future hearings when it
By all
comes
means.
to when it comes to casings on the floor being trash?
Hmm?
I'm referring to casings on the floor being trash in this case. Is that able? Are people able to reference that in future cases?
If something's going on, reference the fuck out of it.
I'm just trying to clarify if we are making cases on the floor trash, regardless of.
If you're making casings trash, respond to the scene and declare it as a scene as such. If you witness somebody picking shit up, then you're witnessing them tampering with things. Someone providing a photo, and not doing the due diligence of documenting the information. One moment. I didn't answer my phone the first time, and you decided to call back. Call back in 20 minutes.
Hey, Caster.
Yeah.
The items, like machete and weapon, it's something in sheets when you need back.
Yeah, she was found guilty of everything, so give her everything back except the casings.
The scene was chaotic, correct?
I assume so.
And your officers did collect evidence on that scene once you had control over it, correct? Did any of those casings come back to those involved that were from her?
Hansen, when you're done, come over here ASAP.
We need an escort out, or like the doors unlocked.
They need an escort out.
Trace, handle it.
I will do it. I will do it.
I'm back.
Hansen, did you think when
Go.
did they have fingerprints on them?
They have fingerprints on them, but it was the running. It was the running part I hadn't gotten to do yet because I worked in the cells with her alone for 10 minutes before people came.
Due to the stuff that you were telling me
Exactly. That's why the forensic reports aren't on either.
Yeah, so did I. Bear in mind, I find her to be guilty as sin on what was being accused. I did not find the evidence supporting of that.
Me-
Liz.
Hey, yeah, sorry for the wait. They were just finishing up a courtroom hearing. I
good.
think we should be able to have one now. I'm not sure if she might just have another one lined up or not, but we should be able to.
Hold on. Hold on. Before you get
Yeah.
too far, let me give you my number. There. In case we get lost from each other, Liz. I like you. I don't know anything about
There's
you.
my
but I
number.
like you.
Let's see.
All right. Thank you.
That's nice to get to know you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see.
So are we just heading up there? Or,
I'm gonna ask her if she's able to do another hearing or not, and then I'll let you know.
tell her ours should be quick.
A professional lawyer to having some sort of grudge against PD.
Yep.
And using our way of working against him.
What did you say his name was? Moss?
Changed. But that is my personal opinion. You do not need to do anything with that as a judge at all.
I agree that time is a factor in this. His previous experience as an officer.
Didn't really have any
The
noticeable
departments
features about
have
him.
evolved, so as the DOJ
Yeah.
since he left, to my understanding.
Could somebody quickly just let me go into
Yeah,
the
can
main
someone
lobby?
let him out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I also speak to the deputy chief and Silas for a moment? So
I'm
you
gonna
can go out.
archive that investigation. Good work, guys. Simon,
Right this way.
proper pep talk and get him out.
Yeah, I will be in the office anyways.
Okay.
I'll be adding it shortly.
Well, I'm gonna.
I was asking for. You didn't really have any recognizable features, huh? I keep almost wanting to refer to list in the second person. That is interesting. I hadn't considered this, but I'm like second person perspectiving lists rather than third person. I guess that makes sense. I would arguably say that most people would be really hard to separate yourself enough for it to be third person. Be really hard. Oh, I don't remember these people. All right, let me be right back. Okay. Hello.
Hey, Liz. It's Theodore. I was just checking if you were busy or if you had a moment to talk in the DA's office.
Sure. I had
Yeah, I just wanted to get your perspective on something.
Okay.
Enjoy your day.
Right, yeah, have a good one.
Let's see. Let's see.
Don't worry, I'll take care of that for you.
Didn't you? Right? Okay. You know,
She's having a talk in there with the troopers in ADA, so it might be a little bit, but should be soon.
all right, we appreciate it.
Yeah, if you see her come out, call me. I need to actually do something else real quick. See ya.
Okay.
Hey, Liz, how you doing, man?
Hey, good to see you. I'm doing pretty good.
Hey, I want to get your perspective on something. And this isn't like an interrogation or something about past stuff. This is like just getting your perspective on how things have been going. Because there's a couple of things I'm getting a little frustrated about with mostly judges, I'm going to be honest. And I would just want to get your perspective if you felt the same things or noticed the same things.
Okay, go ahead.
So MMA Street, I go and talk about the Rusty's business because it's been 14 days and they never filed an appeal. And I go to her and I say, hey, they haven't filed an appeal. It's been 14 days. I'd like to have the business, go through the taking away business process. And she tells me, no, we royally fucked that up. And I go, what are you talking about? And she says that very first warrant, the cop used a helicopter to spot it from 200 feet in the air. That's not okay. Fruit of the poisonous tree. You ruined a woman's life over fruit of the poisonous tree. And I'm like, well, I only came in after the first raid was signed. And in my head, I'm thinking, you had a judge sign that warrant and you completely changed. She said, yeah, that's one of the reasons they completely changed their warrant process. And I'm like, okay, but it's not fruit of the poisonous tree because it's a signed warrant unless you get that warrant overturned. And anyway, in most jurisdictions, and I don't argue this with her because she's, assistant justice. I'm like, in most jurisdictions, you can fly over shit and look with your eyeballs and cameras to see this shit. We can't just say you ruined a woman's life and this she's innocent because they were weapons trafficking out where you could see it from above. And then I've had like another similar situation where it's just like, after it occurs, the judges are getting very heated about this stuff or like blaming the DOJ for things they have checks and balances for, or like assuming the worst out of officers. So this judge, Emma literally is trying to help represent Lyra Bennett against the PD. And she asked me point blank, like, if you knew this to be true, would you represent the PD in this situation? Because of some lawyer stuff, I'm like, yeah, because it's my job to support the officers. If I believe they didn't do wrong, I said, it sounds like you want a retrial because the judge didn't pay attention about a lawyer's status. And it sounds like they were basically primed to win their appeal with a different lawyer. It's basically a retrial. Why are people freaking out at the DOJ or the police involved? And I'm just having problems with the judge's expectation of us, like their opinion about officers and shit like that with us. And I feel like there's just this built-up bias where we're expected to listen to these judges. And it's just like, no, we're expected to represent these cops. And they're pulling in ADAs to like agree with them that something has gone wrong and people need to sue the PD and shit. Even though we're supposed to not be doing that as the DOJ. And I feel like they're overstepping their bounds and they're like trying to help represent people against us and then get us to agree that the PD and shit have fucked up and to take action against us. And this is not the first judge who's done this. And I'm wondering if you're getting the same feeling. Not from Emma, I'm talking about the judiciary in general.
Well, I've only really spoken to both Emmas. That's I have had like one interaction with any of the other judges. Like one interaction in
Okay.
Hawthorne. I had one court case with him, which I really didn't like, and then I had one court case with Gil, where I tried to appeal a guilty plea, where the officer in the cells, he had said, "Well, if you don't plead guilty, then you're going to get 3 felonies," and I thought that was very inappropriate, especially considering that I had advised her to plead no contest before this, and so I tried appealing it in grounds of coercion. But Gil felt that because I wasn't able to get the the person who I was representing should be there at the same time as well as the officer, and so he said there wasn't enough evidence to say that she'd been coerced, just
you
based
have
on my
to have
testimony.
A very high bar of coercion. Yes.
Well, I think him saying that though was definitely coercion. I was like, without
Yeah,
doubt, it
but
was
you have
coercion.
to have them there because it's an
Yeah.
extremely high bar kind of thing.
I wasn't aware it was that, honestly.
But-
I figured it was something so egregious, and I was really pissed off. So I'm like, all right, let's just
I
give
don't
it
know.
time.
I'm just having this problem where like judges are having us be in these chambers to talk with civilians or about civilian problems, and then try and get our opinion of like, are you going to represent the state, like because they did this and shit?
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, it's a failure to fucking obey charge. They probably failed to obey. Jesus Christ, you can't sue the cop for being rude. You're overreacting. And I'm like getting this sense from the judges, and like they're kind of laying it on us. But like, you signed that warrant of the guy getting plain sight of Rusty's from 200 feet in the air.
So
I didn't know it was 200 feet in the air or some shit.
So for that, I actually did not want to sign the warrant originally. And the officer, it was my first day as an ADA, and I was feeling really pressured by the officer. The officer was like, just sign it, just sign it. And I was
Okay.
feeling really pressured. And so he said, you don't even have the right to sign. The judge's going to sign off on it. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I went and I signed off on like 3-4 different warrants.
Okay,
He literally gave me a set phrase and then just told me to replace my name. Put my name there. And I was like, okay, well.
No, but my point being is like, if you see it from a fucking helicopter, why is the judge pissed off we quote unquote ruined a weapon trafficker's life when they stored shit in the open to be seen from the air? You know what I mean? And overreacting at us about it. Like,
Because I wasn't sure that stuff seen in a helicopter followed under the plain view doctrine. Because you have to have
in
special equipment to
most-
be able to see it.
okay. In most jurisdictions, they do not consider a camera special equipment.
Well, no, it's the helicopter, it's special equipment.
In most jurisdictions, as long as you're in the allowed flight space of a police helicopter, you're allowed because you're allowed to be there.
Yeah, I did some research about that as well, and it looks like that is the case in most jurisdictions, like you said.
Yes. So, and she's freaking out and saying we ruined a woman's life over this, and we really fucked up yesterday. And that's how she presented it to me. I said, "Hey, I want a motion to do it." She's like, "No, you guys shouldn't have done it. It was a huge thing. This is why we put it in the news system. Like, you ruined someone's life over further poisonous tree." And in my head, I'm like, "This is like basic shit. You can't." Yeah, the cops can be in the helicopter and see shit. Why are you doing stuff outside? No, this is what rangers literally do in the woods when they fly over. They're looking for illegal shit when they fly over the woods. They don't know that illegal shit has been done, but they're literally patrolling for illegal shit. So I'm just, and like I said, I literally got pulled into a room just to like try and agree that someone was conflicted and like try and blame the cop for it, when I'm like, that's a judge's job to, if they get noticed about a lawyer's conflict, to rule it a mistrial or a retrial. That is not the cop's job. What are, and so like, it feels like they're shifting a lot of blame to us and cops rather than themselves, and it's starting to annoy me.
The only thing I could think of would be that they were never made aware there was conflict by the trooper, and so they're mad about it for that reason.
Okay, but she has the right to tell the judge, I don't want this lawyer, it's a conflict, and the judge, and apparently they did tell the judge, and the judge still let the trial continue. Now, secondly, she had an appeal with a different lawyer for that, and she still lost. So, and like they were talking about, but yeah, I could tell they were talking about the cop involved in the situation way more than just that portion of it. And it's like, and like they were basically trying to say, would you represent the state in this case? And I'm like, yeah,
it's not my fault the defense lawyer's conflicted and the judge didn't do anything about it. Of course I'm still representing the state. And so I left the room and she says, like, you might know how to listen to this if you're representing the state. And Harry goes, I'm not going to represent the state in this case, and just continues chatting with her afterwards. She's helping the defense. You should not, as an ADA, be talking to a judge who's actually just taking a defense action and is not acting as a judge. And we keep doing that, and it's annoying the shit out of me.
I think she might be taking a more checks and balances approach, and that she feels that maybe the police department is overstepping in certain ways.
She specifically said she's trying to help her friend.
The judge said that?
Yes. Because she was asking us who's the best defense lawyer you know. Warning, you're gonna have to go up against them and shit.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a problem for that kind of thing.
No,
That's,
it's the further conversation rather than it didn't stop there. And the problem was she's trying to get us to agree that we wouldn't represent the state if something X occurred, quote unquote hypothetically, but it wasn't hypothetical about the situation. And you could clearly tell they were trying to talk about blaming the officer or the DOJ involved, rather than levy the actions against the judge and the defense lawyer who know better. Yeah.
And it was which Emma?
Emma Maestri in this one.
Huh.
She also is the one who talked about how we ruined a woman's life over that warrant in grandiose terms to me, and that she said, you guys fucked it up. And I'm like, I have to sit there and probably not argue with her because she's the assistant justice, you know what I mean? And I'm a lowly ADA. And I'm tired of them making these non-judicial rulings about it. They keep doing these non-judicial discussions before a case goes to court and shit about this stuff. And it's super fucking annoying because citizens keep going straight to the judges. And apparently this is maybe like going to be a 13th, but she said like the officer involved is probably going to be fired. Is what she told me.
Nobody's ever
And I'm
fired.
like,
Mm,
what?
yeah.
So, yeah, it's a whole thing.
What did
and
he
my
do though so
problem-
bad?
He did that warrant. I'm not kidding.
Oh, that
That's what he
warrant.
did. That was so bad.
Yeah, I
The
remember
warrant
speaking
from
to
the
that guy.
helicopter. Yeah. She said the officer's probably going to be fired for that.
What was the conflict?
That's a different thing. Lyra
Oh, okay.
Bennett's the conflict one. The failure to obey is the conflict one because of which, once again, that's the judge's responsibility, not the cops. If she told the cop she doesn't want that lawyer, then she shouldn't have said go to bench. She should have said no contest because she's not accepting the state-appointed lawyer. Otherwise, the state-appointed lawyer should have called the lawyer line for a replacement.
What was the problem with that? Was that it was just that he saw what happened?
No, he had an outstanding lawsuit against her and then said it didn't matter.
Well, I mean, if she waived the conflict herself, then I don't see a problem with it.
She apparently told the judge there was a conflict, and the judge said it's fine. Look, here's the deal. You could tell people aren't reading the full story and the responsibility of the client to say clearly they don't want that lawyer, and I want to go to bench with a different lawyer. Is there another lawyer?
Oh, you're talking
available?
about Bodhi. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yes. My point being is, it feels like the judges keep saying stuff is our fault, or they're being very mad about mean officers. Being a mean officer isn't against the law. That also, signing warrants is their responsibility. Second of all, you going up to me, posting the case where I'm trying to do this process, saying, as a judge, you fucked up as the DOJ when there's been no ruling on that. Guess what? It hasn't been ruled on. So her just telling me we fucked up, even though it hasn't been a ruling, doesn't make sense. What she should say as a judge is, there's a motion to throw out the warrant for Poisonous Tree right now, so we can't continue with that. And that's what her perspective is supposed to be as a judge. Because if she's not the one making that ruling, she can't. Her word doesn't matter. And her doing that, they're kind of our boss right now. Because Mr. Gill, she's the assistant to Mr. Gill. He's our boss. we can't argue with our our fucking boss because they didn't separate the judiciary from the DOJ. So this is just inappropriate action because I have to just sit there and listen as if I can't disagree, even though I know there's stuff wrong with what they're saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And
That's
so it
it.
was just, look, I'm slightly venting, but also like, it felt like they were talking about your warrants a lot. And I was just like, I don't think they are, but they might be. So I should probably get Liz if he's having a problem with judges and weird warrant opinions, or these keep doing this thing where they talk to citizens and tell them what their ruling would be if they heard the case before the case has occurred. And it's fucking us over. But it's also forcing people like Hardy to make statements he shouldn't be making because he's in the room with these judges as they're telling this to those citizens. Which is not Hardy's fault, because there's a judge in the room talking to citizens and then asking him these rhetorical questions for serious answers.
Well, I would just say have everything go through a lawyer. Like that's how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Up until this actual
I
trial.
had to tell, literally, the judge questioned me, like, would you represent the state in this situation? And I was just like, yes, I would, because I have to believe in the officers. And, like, it's my job to work with them. Jesus Christ. And I'm like, if I answer this to the judge, she's clearly going to think less of me. You know what I mean?
That's fine. What does it matter if she thinks less of you if you think you're standing up for your own morals? And it shouldn't matter.
But you get the point. They shouldn't be asking us those questions about cases. They're judges.
I would agree. Like if they're going to rule in the case, that probably isn't something they should be doing. If they don't plan on that, then
she was literally trying to help this person hear this case with another judge, and then asking us questions of the ADAs because she knows she can get us in the meeting room as a fucking judge. And here's the deal: Hardy should have said yes to representing the PD. Hardy's wrong in saying no, and the reason he's wrong in saying no is the fact that by telling her yes, he's giving evidence to a defense that they agree with him. And he can be called to court over it. And he's already been reminded not to do this.
For agreeing with the defense attorney?
For agreeing with the judge who's trying to get the defense attorney for a defense based on what she's arguing with us in that room. She's trying to argue about what defense she's going to take and how we would reject representing and stuff in that room with us. And Hardy should not be answering any of that stuff as I would not represent the state. But he's kind of entrapment with the fucking judge per se, because we kind of see judges as our bosses. So the problem is we have to kind of assume what their hypothetical shit are saying are true, but we also have to do that with the officer in order to properly defend the officer.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I haven't experienced that here, but I definitely experienced
that, like,
a lot of that.
3 times in the last week, and it's starting to piss me off.
To commiserate with you a bit, I had a judge who just hand waved a warrant. He just said, "Oh no, it's okay. The officer can just take that person's DNA." Didn't have a warrant or anything for it. And I was kind of confused by why they just hand waved it rather than actually having a warrant put out.
You don't need a warrant to take their DNA if you have already a crime that would trigger DNA to being taken.
It wasn't a violent crime. See?
That, if it's not violent crime, is fucked up.
Yeah. And the reason he just hand waved it was because he didn't want to be conflicted for the bench trial.
It's okay. A judge ruled that breaking handcuffs is not resisting arrest.
I think, what was it? That if you don't do anything further other than breaking handcuffs, then it's not resisting.
Breaking handcuffs is physically resisting.
Oh, we're talking about Hawthorne's ruling?
Yes.
This was brought up at the PD meeting, and they heavily disagreed with it. but it's whatever.
Push resisting arrest every time that happens. Even if Hawthorne, if they didn't set a precedent, push it every time.
They also suggested pushing escaping or obstruction of justice, which I do agree with. But resisting arrest is
not
often...
escaping because they're not fully in custody yet. It should be resisting.
Well,
it
Hawthorne
depends
has...
on what Hawthorne rules on, so...
He's always had strange rules.
because he didn't set a precedent. Look, here's the deal. My tip to all of you, because I'm starting to have trouble with certain judges, as you can tell, Liz. is always push the right thing because they're not setting precedent. Even if you know they're going to rule it wrong, stand your ground at what the right thing is. And if they start reporting to the heads of the DOJ, he always pushes this and we always rule against it. Make the strong argument of they can be wrong and they can remain wrong, but we won't do the wrong thing because a judge is wrong.
Still gonna push it anyway.
Yeah.
President isn't heavily favored in the state anyway.
Yep. So, also the judges aren't ruling with preponderance of evidence, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
Liz, did you need help earlier?
Yeah, there was a 1 second. Hello?
Anyways, it's Montana.
So, yeah,
looks like the judge stepped out the door.
Silas,
She
have
did?
you been
Alright.
feeling from
Thank you
judges
for letting
that
me
they
know.
keep
Be a
doing
second.
inappropriate meetings
I'm gonna go
about
do instructions.
defenses or things they claim went
Alright, but-
wrong with the PD or our warrants, and then they, instead of making rulings, they're instead just talking about how we fucked up or the police fucked up, would we represent them, and having these extra meetings they shouldn't be having with us like that?
I have a chamber hearing that I was going to, but I'm going to be the witness for the chamber hearing, so I need one of you two to, or I guess both of you, like,
Feel
to
free
represent
take this
the state.
one.
I'm
Just
not
got
taking it.
out.
I have to leave. I'm
Okay.
not supposed to be here today.
Oh.
I was coming in to get some extra opinions real quick on what's been happening recently.
Well, then you
Alright.
want to help real quick, Cyrus? It should be like a real quick thing, like 5
Yeah, go
minutes
ahead.
even.
Don't let me stop you. I
Sure.
just needed to vent a little bit, but also see if anyone agreed with the venting.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with the venting.
I'm not sure. Wasn't there, so I can't say the same thing for myself. That's the thing.
It's literally happened to me 3 times in 1 week, which is why I'm getting fucking annoyed.
Oh, wait, this is a different case, actually. I need you for the one after this, because I have another... I have 2
Oh,
court cases
okay.
lined up. Never
Are
mind
you-
then.
Do you have 2 hearings right now?
Do I have 2 what?
2 hearings to do?
Yeah, I have 2 hearings lined up right now.
Okay, just let me know when you need me.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right,
Hi, Mr. Liz.
hey,
How
See,
you
I'm-
doing, man?
about to head to a court hearing real quick.
Oh,
See-
yeah, you do your thing.
Yeah, nice seeing
Don't
you.
worry about me.
Liberty or in Vice.
All right.
Liberty or even Vice.
I'm from Kalamazoo, so.
Very different from there. How's it going,
Hey,
Liz?
Liz.
Hey, he was requesting to have what's called an appeal done.
Okay.
It
No
should
contest
be like
appeal.
a 5-minute thing because it's just based off the evidence found on scene.
Okay, is it in dockets and ready to go?
No, he didn't give me any papers for it. I just was something that I figured everyone was here and it was something that happened like 2 hours ago, so it's a very recent thing.
This charge happened two hours ago.
Yes.
Come back in 13 days and 22 hours.
You have to wait 14 days after a no contest?
For an appeal, yeah.
No, it's that you can only appeal within 14 days.
Yeah, I thought it's within 14 days.
I was told that it's after 14 days.
I'm very certain it's within 14 days. That's how we've been doing it for the statue.
If it's within 14 days, then come back in 7.
Okay. Okay, if that's what you'd like.
Okay, can I ask a particular, like why?
Appealing charges right after they just happened. The wound is still fresh. Never mind, I don't have the officers. Everything is probably not finished either. I just got out of a court case 3 hours. It was a bench.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'll have
Yeah,
my
we can have this be
client-
more formal. Let's
Nope.
all right. Let's see.
There he goes.
So what I'll need from you is I'll need you to give me a paper with your name, your client's name, the charges you're appealing, the date on it, and the and your phone number as well.
Okay. Okay. Let me get a
Yeah,
page.
just basically all the information. That's about that.
All right.
I didn't think we had to go through the whole process, but if she wants to go through the whole process, that's
All right.
yeah, because I looked over the case myself and it looked like it was just like an evidence thing. So I wasn't even we needed anybody to testify on it.
It really depends on the judge, really. Some judges
'Cause I do think the evidence speaks for itself.
have that decision.
Liz, once everything is all documented and ready to go, I'll be ready for it.
Oh, okay. That sounds good to me.
Okay. Okay. So you said. What his name?
So put your name at the bottom, with your phone number. Put your client's name at the top, and then the charges that are being appealed. Date it, and also date the charges if you can.
And can I see your towing license as well, mate? Fantastic, mate. Let's get this out of here.
If you have the report number, that also makes things a lot easier. But oftentimes, that's you don't always have the report number.
Do you have the report number?
Yes, I can give you the report number. You see.
If you don't mind.
Uh, 5958. And that's the arrest record.
Shit, I really hope I didn't lose all that.
What was his name again?
Let me see. That everything?
Let me check it out. See. Yeah, looks good. So, see.
Alright, where is the salary? Not that much. Goddamn.
Yeah, this one. I mean, this one should be quick. In and out, bing, bang, boom, all that jazz.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go very briefly talk to the client. It still might be happening, Fernando.
Date filed.
Doesn't the police
Form.
officer that did this had to be there too?
Alright, that's done. Let me send him this stuff. All right. Let me just email you the evidence real quick. Let's see.
Cool.
I guess I don't mind waiting a couple of days.
Hello.
Hello.
So, who do I talk to get my licenses?
There's people.
Moss, he said his name was, right?
I think it was Linda. You can talk
There we
to
go.
Linda on the left. She can get you some licenses.
Alright, thank you.
Moss, Montana.
Hello, I would like some license, please.
Oh, do you have your? You said it's your first day, right?
Met that judge yesterday at a bench trial. And a few other judges.
It should be my name in the government channels.
Okay. See. Montana. There we go.
It can't be worse than the females in Sicily. They'd be very stuck.
Thank you. Thank you for my licenses.
You got everything there that she gave you all your.
There, I might have sent you something.
Yep.
Just so open
I
to.
didn't have to shoot anyone.
Yeah, God forbid for that.
So you're not gonna murder me, are you?
Alright, there you go. See.
All right.
I'm a lawyer, so I can't do that.
Alright. That's good. I don't want to be murdered.
It's probably not the best place if someone tries to do in a building like this. They got guards. They got guards everywhere.
I wouldn't plan doing anything in here either.
All right.
So I should probably go get a gun to defend myself now.
Yep.
I
As
mean,
long as
shit.
you understand.
I think that's
self-defense.
everything that's got to be done, right?
Yep. So,
Well,
I guess we just head upstairs now.
what did you read? No, you have an understanding of what happened.
Yeah.
So,
Usually you can just call the lawyer line, but I can give you my personal phone number if you want.
Alright, sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Here you go.
all right, yeah, then we're ready right now. See.
Fernando, showtime.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Finally.
Lawyer Lawson, and what's your name?
My name's Daphne.
Oh, nice to meet you.
All right, filed now. See.
Okay, everyone ready?
Yep. See.
Do we need any officers from the state?
I tried to get in contact with the officer. I can try and get in contact with him again, but it was just based on evidence found on scene, so I don't think we need the officers.
Okay.
If it required his testimony, I would call him. Or I would wait for him.
Important question: is the state contesting or objecting to anything?
Or objecting. I think the charges stand. See,
You want the charges to stand, or
yes, I'd like the charges stand. I was even considering adding another charge, but it's already been, he's already been charged.
We're on this side.
I was just gonna say, if you're all in agreement and nobody's gonna say, "Hey, this is standing for X reason," then I'm inclined to just review everything and come to a decision.
That's fine.
Versus us going through the whole beaten path of things.
I mean, yeah, if you're asking for like the reason for appeal, yeah, I can provide one.
Wasn't what I was asking for.
Okay.
Sometimes the DA's office will agree with the reason for appeal and simply state as such, but it takes 40 minutes to get there. I'd like to do something with that 40 minutes that's not this if able, but if it needs to be this, it's this. Taking that as a yes.
Yes.
What are we doing?
I would like to have you just go over the evidence unless there's something he wants to add in his own testimony. But I think the evidence stands for itself.
Right.
Okay. I need a name or I need something to read.
Oh, it is State v. Fernando Baritone and the appeals for Kanban. Well, that doesn't really tell you anything in that one. The report number is...
Yeah, we're supposed to be on the other side. Well, a little OCD thing.
Oh, good.
5958, arrest record.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with all the charges, and after looking at the report myself, I feel that it is very well done. I was actually very proud of this officer. So,
Defense. Well, guess in this case you're, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we were on the right side because Tapello. Yeah, I mean, the main gripe is with reckless endangerment. It has to threaten the safety of, my client or others. There doesn't seem to be anyone who is put into danger by any of these events. There's no witnesses to the events themselves. The long and the short of it is, I think it's a case of improper charge because nobody was put into danger and there was, seemingly nobody around at the time of this incident.
I would make the argument that we do not have the charge reckless discharge of a firearm, but regardless, it's a reckless action, so that endangers others.
What's the context of that charge?
Reckless endangerment or reckless discharge of a firearm?
What is the context of that charge in terms of this case?
For reckless endangerment, the context is that he shot in a public area, and then he claimed that 2 other people had done so, and his fingerprints were found on the casings. He was GSR positive. Let's see. And that's all in evidence. And this was from a shots fired call.
Where did the call happen at?
Vinewood Park Drive, outside parking for the casino. His attire also matched the description, as he was wearing a leather mask.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, I just want to reaffirm. Between my client being positive for GSR and the fingerprint on the casing, we're not arguing the identification. We are arguing the context of the reckless endangerment charge, and just want to reiterate who was endangered by his actions because seemingly nobody but him was around.
Or I'd make the argument that unless you're at a range, it's dangerous to fire in an open city.
Anything further?
None.
Nothing that wouldn't be just going back and forth on the same points.
Perfect. This was at the casino parking lot, yes?
Yes.
What direction were you shooting?
I was just. Are you talking to me? I'm allowed to answer.
Yeah. Go ahead and
Okay.
answer.
Yeah, I was shooting a car. So it wasn't in the air or toward any passing by vehicles or anything like this.
To be clear, it was an unoccupied
Yes.
vehicle.
Was there a reason? Or
Go ahead.
was there a reason for doing so?
The only reason for me doing so was because there was a car alarm that was going off, and it was aggravating me at the time.
Okay. Mr. Baritone.
Yes.
Although I can agree that the alarms in the state that for whatever reason they do not stop unless you either go up and touch the vehicle or walk away from it drives me up a fucking wall. You cannot go shooting the vehicles in a parking lot where there is more than one vehicle that would blow up if enough rounds went into it. Never mind if gas started to leak and you hit that gas. It would ignite and every vehicle in that parking lot would explode. You wouldn't know if someone came into that parking lot in the middle of that chaos and potentially became harmed because of it.
Correct. I'm sorry for this.
In the future, if it is indeed irritating, my best suggestion, call the tow company. Maybe they'll come and grab it. Call an officer. They'll probably tow it because it'll piss them off just as much. But discharging your weapon into the engine block, hoping to hit the horn, is not going to fix the issue. Never mind, it is indeed reckless.
Correct. I wouldn't do this anymore. I would take your suggestions of calling the law.
Is there anything else?
No.
Alrighty. Liz?
None.
Perfect. We're all set.
So just to be clear, upheld as guilty.
Correct.
Okay. Just want to confirm. All right.
All right.
I've got nothing else.
Alrighty.
All right, I can let you guys out. See ya.
Thank you. I appreciate the time, y'all. First
Yeah, of
chamber
course.
hearing.
It has been a day in the span of 5 hours.
Open? No, it's not open. All right, so that's how chamber hearings go.
With her release, you'll find different judges have different ways of going about it.
Okay.
I think you made a good argument. But
I appreciate it. Yeah, reckless. I mean, if the discharge charge existed, there would have been zero reason to appeal any of it, right?
yeah,
That's like endangerment being a felony, but you do
we're
what you can
lacking
do.
some charges here currently, you're right? So, I actually have that on my list for charges I would hoping to have created.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So in the future, there's no way as of right now that I can somehow I would say take the felony off, or from what she said was
You
guilty.
can have an expungement.
Okay.
Yeah, how does that work? One of the other lawyers said 14 days, 10 grand.
14 days without any what's called felonies or misdemeanors, I believe. So you can get speeding tickets, but you can't be running from the cops.
Okay.
You're allowed to speed. Well, you're not allowed to speed, but you're allowed to get caught speeding.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Hello.
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 Are any judges available?
There is,
if
but I
so,
believe she's on the
they're-
phone right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
So.
the judges are just
Yeah,
back-to-back
I
bullshit
guess
all
it
day.
went somewhat good, but at the same time, you know.
I mean, listen, Fernando, I did what I could there.
Okay.
It wasn't a great case. But I mean, it's fine. Yeah, you got closure. We got clarity on reckless endangerment. Everybody wins.
Was your problem that was a felony?
Yeah, because I try to run the business. That's it. It's the only reason why I'm
So-
here for trying to do this. Yeah.
A felony doesn't stop you from owning a business. It stops you from creating a business, but if you already own a business, then there's no problem.
So, okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. So I say about yesterday. So I got the business form from that guy on the right, and I filled it out. But this was yesterday. So this whole thing is all right. Though.
Yes, if you submitted it, then you're fine.
Oh.
Look at that. Look at that.
Okay.
That's a happy
Okay.
ending.
I'm happy. I'm happy, but not happy for what I did. But.
Of course not. Yeah.
Oh,
Remorse.
that was the only thing. I didn't care about the fines. I didn't care about doing my time and stuff like that. I was just worried about that,
And I believe, well, it's supposed to be the case that only violent felonies have your business license taken.
Right.
But I believe the police have just been doing any felony.
Well, can you elaborate? Violent? Well, I guess you like
Shooting at cops,
people.
yeah.
Yeah. I know do this.
Violent against a person, not against a car in a parking lot like this.
Right. Okay. So everything should be good now. Good, yeah.
Yeah, everything should be
Sounds
fine.
like everything's taken care of. It sounds like you're good on the business front. I think everything's peachy for you.
Hey, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you. Well, is it okay if I get your number just in like
Sure.
future stuff and stuff like that?
Let me see.
Yes, okay. How you say your last name?
Bajek.
Bajek. Okay. I appreciate you both. I guess everybody got closer here. I can still in the future operate my future business, and hopefully I didn't waste your time with your first case and stuff like this, and all that.
You know, sometimes it's good to get something where the odds are stacked against you as like a feeling out, because I didn't know the chamber hearing was going to go. But
Alright.
Liz gave me the pity. You made a good argument, Skippy, and then here we are.
No, I think it was a good argument. It wasn't pity.
Right.
I know. I just know my experience in the past. That you always get the nice job after you lose. Because I do the same thing when I win.
Well, I find you learn best whenever you lose. You don't learn a whole lot from winning.
Oh, but it's so nice to win, though. Oh my god.
Yeah, and it feels a lot different.
It's
That's
so
for sure.
goddamn nice to win.
But I guess all that waiting, yeah. I guess it wasn't all for nothing, because I just wanted to verify and clarify for myself, because
Got me,
it's the
babe.
first time doing some sort of business. I didn't really know. I knew that if you had a felon, you cannot like have business, but from what he said, that you cannot submit a business form if you have felon.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, if I knew that, I probably wouldn't even be right here. But I appreciate you too, and I'll be on my way.
Oh yeah,
Have
glad
a
I,
good one, Mr. Baritone.
glad I could help you out with
Bye-bye.
that. In the future, there is something that we do have. We do have stuff like suspended sentencing. It's only been used once before, I think. So it's not something very common.
Kind of like a pretrial diversion.
Um,
that is-
it's kind of like saying that your client, they're definitely guilty of the charges, but you don't want them having felonies for reasons like you don't want their business being taken or whatnot. And so you are willing to do such and such and such as long as they remain without crime for like 30 days or so, then they won't get, they won't have the felonies. So it's like they're put under a lot of restrictions to basically say that as long as they don't do anything within the next 30 days, you're pretty much good.
Okay, and so like the charges drop off if they meet those restrictions, or
Yes,
are
the
they just
one
there with,
example-
like asterisk, or
The one example of suspended sentencing I've seen so far, I believe the person was being charged with 2 felonies, and the requirements were that they had to go 30 days without any crime, and if they did that, then the charges would be dropped off. But if they did, then the charges would still stick, and I believe there was even further repercussions if they did do so.
okay, yeah, I'll start doing that. Yeah, I've known those as not necessarily suspended sentences, because I mean they are, right? But I've known those as pretrial diversions, so that's like a language gap there, I guess.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
I hadn't heard of it. That is
You're either a first-time offender, or you're generally a good person, but you got caught doing something. If you stay good for X amount of days in agreement with the police, charges drop. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, exactly like that. That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, shit. I guess what do I want to do now? I just spent 2 hours waiting on this, so I guess I'm waiting for a call now.
Yeah, I get that. That's as an attorney, you don't have. You're competing with a lot of other attorneys if there are any available, I should say, for calls. And one of
I'm
the
gonna
things
get my name out there. They're gonna want Montana Moss.
You think so? Well, I think so as well. You're helping people out.
I think so. I think I
Seem
know
to
my
know
shit,
yourself.
Liz. I think I know my shit.
As for,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as for work, I found that the best way to find work is to create your own work, so to speak. So if you either think that there's something wrong with the current system, create some form of document so you can submit that to a judge. Either that, or you can go looking for your own clients, in the sense of saying, hey, do you have any civil stuff that you need help with, or have you been wronged by the police, that sort of thing. And then you could help them specifically over it.
Yeah, I like the idea of civil, just not against the police, because that always gets fucking messy. If it was person versus person, then it's more interesting. Yeah, I appreciate all the advice.
All right, glad I could help you out.
Yeah, it was a good meeting you, Liz. I'll kick your ass next time.
I'll be waiting.
My name's Dafton. Dafton Hughes.
Oh, that's a mighty fine name you got there.
Thank you. My mommy
He's a nice guy.
has given me that name. My papi gave me the last name.
Oh, that's so cool.
All right, now that's done. You still available, or? Oh, Hartham's available. Okay. Wait, Ralph. It's Ralph. Never heard of him.
Why has he got handcuffs? Why has he got handcuffs?
Probably zip ties. Alright, listen. Okay. I was right there. I didn't watch it all happen. I saw somebody get punched. I saw you hunt over and kick him while he's on the ground. Okay, that's not
I've only
what you
reported
said.
it. I didn't
But listen, alright, we're all getting detained here. Alright?
Hello.
Hello, how can I help you?
I'm just I'm saying hi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm John Lawson. Just a decent lawyer.
You said you're an attorney?
Yeah, in a defense attorney.
Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Liz. I'm an ADA.
Nice to meet you, Liz.
Let me give you my number.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. And here's my number as well.
Thank you. Always say the contact is always that's the first step, right?
Yep,
So
the first step. Were you part of that appeal process that Moss was part of?
yes,
Is it still going on?
that is just finished.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did you? Oh, I got a call. See ya. It looks like somebody picked it up. Did you know where Moss went?
I saw him walk out the front door, but I think he said. Oh, I think he might have gotten the call. I think that's him out there actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go find him. See ya. Thanks.
It's funny. I accidentally went into my was it professional business talking voice. Let me see.
So I need to work on an emergency restraining order
Oh,
against Shoe Stealer. Somebody gave her my fucking phone number,
oh, great.
and she's been harassing me and stalking me.
Yeah, she really likes to call people. She's been I have an appeal with her, and she's been calling me like I think 6 times today.
Yeah. I don't know who gave her my phone number, but I'm pretty pissed off about it.
Yes, do you need me for a trial? To represent you or something?
Yes, that's finished now, and apparently there's a lot of judges available right now, so we can have that.
Oh.
Let me see if she's available right now.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind sitting out. You can have Johnny or Phoebe. Doesn't matter.
Oh, well, I don't think it matters too much if there's only one person or two. Like this is just going to be I was present for the raid, and it's what was found on the raid. I don't think she's contesting any of that. I think she's contesting the charges itself. We charged her with accomplice to weapons trafficking for enabling the sale of 8 guns to her. So the charge for drug trafficking states sale, but the charge for weapon trafficking does not. It just states transportation and or having that amount. So I'm not sure if that will stand. Probably sale of illegal weaponry would have been better thing to charge, but I feel like if it's the definition of weapon trafficking. Oh, and the reason being because the 8 guns that were sold to her were legally owned by the person up until the moment that they were given to her.
This is something that Holly and I were talking about. The people that buy a ton of guns and then people end up with them. I think she had a case. It was 1837.
Nice vest.
Oh. Hi.
Hi.
I'll
Am I
change.
interrupting? No, don't
No.
change.
No, you're good.
Is that like the
Just thought the vest was funny.
That's funny.
It is kind of funny.
I wanted to wear the maroon one, but I don't know. I was feeling pink today.
Pink's a good color.
Mhm.
I came over to seek some advice from all of you. Although Silas knows where I'm probably going to go with this in a moment.
Proceed.
Earlier today, we had a case that took roughly an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. A bench. Not all of the evidence was ready on PD's behalf, and it seemed like the defense was also caught off guard. How would the
Talking about this.
how would the 4 of you feel about a justice coming to a decision that something should be a full trial rather than the bench?
That is literally what I was just suggesting, but we weren't sure how it would go with the person, being able to get a full trial.
Speak up a bit.
Something-
So
Huh?
you're very quiet. That's why
Oh,
Johnny's.
sorry. So like a person basically, if both parties agree that we need more time agreeing to it
Mhm.
becoming a full trial, the only thing I'm concerned about is if both parties don't agree and like we need more time to gather evidence, like say it's a huge officer involved shooting or something with a lot of evidence, and they still want the bench trial and they're doing it on purpose because they know we're not prepared with evidence. Because you also, I think you were there the one time, remember, with Hawthorne and Parker, where they had the weapons and they didn't have all that evidence prepared and he had it on them and they were arguing about that. I feel like
Literally
we've had this.
just happened.
Yeah, I feel like we've had this happen a couple times where
Mhm.
they're arguing about not getting to see the evidence properly or it not being in the report. But if we're expected to have it be speedy in the cells, we also now have troopers that are saying that they're only giving lawyers 5 minutes with their clients. It's very difficult to make that happen. So.
So I'm also hearing that there are lawyers who are saying plea no contest, and then we can
Mhm.
get the $5,000 out of officers later when we appeal.
Yeah,
So
they're
we've
doing it
been
on
for like
purpose.
2 months already. I've
Yep.
complained to Mr. Gill on that one. In regards to this specific situation, I'm pretty sure we can file for continuances because I was talking to Harry about this when he was doing the Manson v. State, and we were able to talk to Mr. Gill about having a continuance on the actual case, and it was delayed. I don't remember by how many days, but it was delayed,
Mhm.
so everyone had more time. And I know we can file that for those already. So I think that's an option if that is this issue.
I forget
For
who
the
I was
extended
talking to, but I remember that they were saying if we just refunded the amount taken from their bank, rather than giving them the cash on a check.
Mhm.
Before we get into that topic, can we just finish the first one and then we can talk about the other issues? I just want to get the continuance thing happen. So I think if the situation is where there's too much evidence to process, I think it's on us to file a continuance and request some time. If both parties want to file for continuance, I mean, we can just talk to the judge, both parties, and I guess that can just be granted because neither party would be ready at that point, right?
Yeah, but you might have a defense lawyer that realizes the advantages in their favor if they continue to push for that bar or the
Oh, of course. I mean,
bench
that's
to
up
happen.
to the judge, right?
So
That's
it
up to
is.
the judge to make the decision on whether the continuance is granted or not. So
Mhm.
it is the way it is, right? If you file and you get denied, just the way it is, you gotta go through it. I mean, not much else I can say. That's just the judge's decision.
Correct.
So I would say a continuance is still on the table for those situations, if everyone agrees on that one at least.
Mhm.
So then we got to tell. So the next two would be the one where people are trying to plead no contest, and the other one would be the one that Liz just mentioned, where people are trying to get money back as cash instead of to their bank account. I think Harry has a proposal for the latter, so we can
He was
focus.
talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's still working on it. I'm not sure if he's proposed it fully yet. But the former has kind of been an issue, and I don't really know what to do on that one. I told Mr. Gill, I believe, but we just couldn't come up with a solution at the time.
This is if they're paying their bills using the bank account knowing it can go negative, right?
I was talking about the pleading no contest every single time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not sure what we can do with that. Yes, I do. Documentation. If PD's documenting the case of the no contests on their end, and then we're documenting the case of it coming to us, say 24 hours after, in a seeking of money back in any capacity, we can use that to build the case of the lawyer abusing their position.
I almost want to say, like, if it would benefit their client, they're still legally obligated to do so, even if it is a little bit,
It is a little underhanded, yes, but if they are doing this at the benefit of their client's wishes, is different versus let's do this because we're screwing the cops.
Oh well, if they're doing it for a very targeted reason like that, I would say so.
Mm-hmm. So it becomes a matter of proving that behavior.
So I just want to be, I just want to understand this for sure. You can still plead no contest even though there's a judge, and you can do not guilty and go to trial right away, right?
If a justice is available, technically you're at a bench at that point. You
Okay,
are
that's-
technically at a trial. But now this is talking about churning it so the justice can say, neither party is ready to go. This clearly needs more than 5 minutes of a debate. We're pushing this to X date. It's happening then. Everyone has agreed to it. And that's kind of the key. It's everyone saying, yeah, I'm free this Saturday. Let's do it then.
But what if the other party doesn't agree because they know that we didn't have enough time to prepare and they're fine with it and they're happy that we didn't have time to process the evidence because it benefits them?
Oh, that's when I put forth, okay, well, if the other party can't agree, then I'm giving PD 30 minutes to get everything in order.
Okay.
We will wait.
Okay. That I
Time
can
served
be
is
good with.
also not in place. So right now you are actively holding your client back.
That's the other thing. It feels like there's been not a ton of instances, but instances where the lawyers are pushing very simple cases, like let's just say just a simple GTA or a simple loitering charge. They're spending more than 5 to 10 minutes with their clients to talk to them, and in my opinion, it does not take that long to talk to your client about that case in the cells. So we have had troopers that have been setting time limits a little bit, and lawyers have been complaining about it now.
I think it kind of depends on your client at that point, though. Because you will have some clients that are very coherent about what's going on. They understand the situation and they're very quick to make decisions. While others, you need to slow yourself down and actively repeat 12 times before they go, oh, that's what you mean. So.
I can usually tell. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I would also like to add on to that comments made by Phoebe. It was brought up to me by Spencer Shepard a while ago. She stated that lately people were using the court systems to avoid Bolingbroke by pursuing trials over minor charges like, GTA or negligent driving. She also stated that if there's a way to perhaps set a limit to determine a bench trial eligibility. She also stated that people were also abusing time served in cells and bench trials over time served. She had also observed that attorneys were padding for time because you can have an attorney coming from Polito and answer the lawyer line and be like, yeah, I'll be there in a couple minutes, when in reality it took them 20 minutes.
Right. And that's actually kind of what I'm talking about. All those different situations that take up time in the cells and they get time served and then they're just out of their situation, essentially. If it's simple charges like a GTA or a obstruction of justice where it's like 10 to 15 months and then just the time waiting for their lawyer and talking to their lawyer, their time is served is up.
Yep. I'm a fan of the time served going out of the window the moment a justice is involved.
Okay.
I think it'd be fine. Isn't it up to the officer's discretion whether or not to let them go there or just send them up for 5 months?
That has been a thing. I believe if there's like a 5-month minimum. But I think a lot of the troopers just err on the side of just letting them walk out.
Well, I
There are
think
some
that's
troopers who are pushing for 1 month and they're not supposed to.
I did hear about that happening.
I witnessed it. So. And in fact, I might have supported it. So.
I think was it a bench trial?
It was a bench trial.
Okay, I think I was there for that one.
I was ready, so very ready to simply say she's served her time here. Time has been served. Let's let her go and move on. She decided to argue with me before giving a verdict. Gonna be nice.
I think in some situations the suspect really does need to go up, even if it's for that 1 to 5 months, if they've been non-compliant and very difficult.
The 5-month minimum is what it should be, though, regardless.
Yeah.
Some people are being sent up for 1 month simply to force them to go up there.
Yeah, I guess if we were
Hello?
to
Hi.
get
What's
rid
going
of
on?
favoritism at all, and just say that everyone has to be sent up for a minimum of 5 months.
I think that would be better, personally.
Oh, it's gonna be a fucking riot out there. is what
Yeah,
I'm
it would be a
saying.
riot. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the word that's been coming up a lot is coercion. And a big
Like
conversation
coercion
about
for police or
yeah. So I tried explaining that I think coercion only comes into play when it's just the officer and the suspect. It usually is not, in as far as I've seen, been an issue when there's lawyers and us down there. And there seems to be a misunderstanding on what coercion is, because I know that there have been cops that have literally said, if you plead guilty, I will give you this time off. To me, in my experience, that's coercion. If it's not, then please tell me. But
Sorry, can you say that again?
if a cop is literally telling a person, I will give you time served if you plead guilty, I'll give you this amount of time off if you plead guilty. To me, that technically is coercion, just based on my previous understanding of it. If it's not how it works here, I'm willing to understand that. I just need to understand what coercion is according to the DOJ here.
It's my understanding that as long as the client is the one to say, hey, what can you give me for a plea deal, sort of thing, then it's okay to offer them that sort of thing. But you can't be the one to offer it first.
That's kind of how I was feeling it. Okay. Because we have had troopers literally just upright say, okay, let's just get out of here. Just plead guilty. I'll give you 50 months off or whatever. To
Yeah,
me,
that
that's
shit's
coercion.
happening too.
And that's kind of, so I've tried explaining, and there's a big disagreement about what coercion is. So I'm just kind of wanting to get the record set straight so that I can properly explain it and make sure that I'm understanding it the right way.
And I believe that as long as they're speaking to an attorney as well, then it's never coercion because they're speaking
With an attorney,
rather than
yeah,
client,
I don't, because that's a plea deal. I'm speaking mainly just if it's a trooper and a suspect only. And the trooper just outright says, okay, let's just get this done. You just plead guilty and I'll give you 50 months off. Because I've heard multiple troopers do this. To me, that's coercion.
It would be.
And they're arguing that it's not.
It most certainly is.
Okay. Well, as long as I have it from you that it is, then I feel confident defending that then.
I can understand the reasoning from the trooper side though, because it's probably along the lines of, let's just get this done and over with until they're giving the person like a.
Yeah, but that's also laziness.
I
And
agree.
it's not
Yeah.
like understanding that perspective is one thing, but like for them to be doing it just because they're lazy and they don't want to deal with paperwork, they don't want to deal, because a lot of those troopers are ones that don't even finish reports and they just put not guilty in the report.
Knock knock. Private, not private.
I'm
No,
saying
we're-
here, of course it's not.
We're talking about coercion. We actually have, we're talking about something that you were working on as well.
Oh,
we're talking
coercion's
about-
interesting. There's
Yeah.
pretty extensive literature that says any
Yeah.
version of a plea deal would be coercion.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the
so
problem.
Emma came to the agreement that if they do it without the client, if it's just a trooper saying directly to a person, I will give you if you plead guilty, I'll give you this time off. That's coercion.
If then, definitely coercion. With a lawyer, less so. You can make
With
a
a
pretty
lawyer,
strong
it's a plea
argument
deal,
that all
and that's fine
plea
with me.
deals are coercion, though, due to the balance of power.
Right.
But, being realistic.
But if all parties are in agreement, then it's not coercion.
You can agree to something and still be being coerced.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yep.
I had a case like that.
So I would kind of disagree with that actually.
I feel like if all parties agree to it, then that's an agreement. You're agreeing to it with your lawyer. That's the contract in a way, in my opinion.
So-
That's a verbal contract.
If a if a plea hasn't been found yet, one way or the other, and an officer is saying, "I'll give you X if you say yes," that's coercion in my opinion. Doesn't matter if there's a lawyer there or not.
Agreed.
Well, the problem is what happens with lesser charges. Typically, I think if you give a lesser charge, that's kind of considered a plea deal. And there's literature about that, which kind of coercion is a very broad topic and very difficult. Right, because a plea deal is essentially the same thing. I'm going to give you this lesser charge.
Mm-hmm.
I had a
people,
be seen as coercion.
individuals themselves have said, if you give me time off, I will X. We give time off anyway, regardless. So it's just a matter of how officers word those conversations and not just shoehorning, hey, if you say this, I'll drop this, or I'll give you less of this. I'll change your charges to X if you say this.
I'm personally of the opinion that guilty plea deals are coercive in nature. There's no way around it, but there are ways to limit it. I think Barton does the best job with this. he does not discuss any options until after the guilty plea has already been made. So he says, again, I still think this is coercive to an extent. If you plead guilty, I'm open to being lenient or having discussions with your lawyer to see what we can offer you, but I'm not having any discussion about it until after your plea.
Yeah,
It
that I would
also,
prefer.
it also limits the number of people who plead not guilty because they don't like their offer and basically are just trying to see if they can get time wasted, for lack of a better word, by taking it to a justice for charges they know they're going to lose.
If they have
We've
an
been
attorney,
talking about the time wasting thing too. That was on the list.
if they have an attorney present, I would say that the trooper should be speaking to the attorney rather than the client, because the client is not going to be the one knowledgeable in law, and so for them to do so, it feels like is overstepping a little bit.
I do feel, however, that the attorney, the lawyer, or the DA, and the officer need to be speaking with the client at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think that's wrong, but speaking to the client rather than to the attorney, that's the problem I have. That's I had a guilty plea that I tried to appeal, where the trooper, I had advised that she plead no contest, and he said to her, well, if you don't plead guilty, then you're going to get 3 felonies. And I was very pissed about that. I filed a complaint actually with Phoebe about that.
That's a threat.
It's
an active threat.
It's like a textbook coercion.
I was saying extortion, but she said coercion. I'm like, all right, that's
that too, but yeah.
And I tried appealing it, but I only had my testimony. I was just trying to have it sort of not necessarily done out of the way. I was a little bit pissed, and I didn't have everyone ready, and I didn't have everything necessarily up to go. So the trooper wasn't there, and my client wasn't there, and so it was just my word. And Gil said that was not enough to overturn a guilty plea, which I understand now.
I have a meeting to run off to. And hopefully we'll have some leeway on a couple things.
I had one more thing I wanted to bring up that's been coming up a
Go
lot
ahead.
recently. Troopers being involved with processing the suspect that shot them, and in my opinion, giving them harsher treatment because of it.
Do you want my honest opinion on that?
Mm-hmm.
That needs to fucking stop.
I just wasn't sure what my place was to say it as an ADA.
As an
to the trooper.
ADA, sadly, my place and yours is the same. We shouldn't be saying it. This
Okay.
is a bring it to Gil. He brings it
Okay.
to the 13th Circuit, and then the 13th Circuit addresses it.
Okay, because I didn't say
The
anything.
fun part about the 13th Circuit is you can bring that to me because, hi, I'm a member.
Okay. Trooper specifically said he wasn't giving this person any time off,
That
even though they
shit
did a
needs to
guilty
stop,
plea.
though. There is no
Yeah.
reason.
He's like, you shot me, you're not getting any time off.
It's
And
just
to me,
bad.
that was fucked up. So I
But that's my
understand
opinion, not
officer
my-
involved shootings suck and things like that suck, but to me, that's not right.
That issue should also hopefully be improved a little bit now that we're pushing for charges people should be getting for that rather than what they have been. So in a lot of times
Right.
people were getting battery for that, which in
Mhm.
my opinion is ridiculous. You shoot an officer, it's second
That's
degree.
Second degree, yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah, somebody tried to talk me down yesterday on a. That was my other thing with warrants, like arrest warrants. We are allowed to change charges. Yes. No.
You can negotiate charges with officers and come to a clear decision.
Okay,
You're their lawyers. You should be making suggestions on what is best fit for what you have in front of you.
I don't usually feel comfortable if the officers that did the arrest warrant aren't there. Because like I had one yesterday where it was first degree attempted, but I thought it should have been second. They tried to argue it down to battery, and I said no, it's at minimum second. But because the situation and the officers not being there and knowing how the relationship between the DOJ and cops have been, I really didn't want to move it down. The guy ended up pleading guilty, so I felt pretty bad, but I really felt like second degree would have been better there. I just wanted to make sure before I change things on arrest warrants like that, because I don't want to keep pissing people off.
Try not to piss people off, but have the open conversation about what's going on and your reasoning why.
Okay.
They should be at least taking that to heart before going, yeah, no, fuck it, I'm doing what I want.
Okay.
Well, I've been having the opposite problem where I tell the officers, you should be pushing this charge and this charge as well. And I'm like, oh, I think that's too much. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's. I mean, you're the one who arrested them, so it's.
I've been working on changing that too. We can't complain that the same people are out on the streets an hour later doing the same thing if we're not going to hit them with what they deserve.
Yep. All right. Well, this chat helped a lot.
Yep. I'll be back in a bit if I'm needed for anything else, but People need me, apparently.
I'm
That's
about
fun.
to contact the Rangers again regarding what we discussed yesterday. One addition, do you think safes that are being found on the coast, we can add that as well? Like,
If
not on the
it's-
coast, literally in the ocean.
In the ocean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that shit needs to stop.
Okie dokie, I'll add that
Are
too.
people actually doing that? That's
Yeah, they're doing it. That's not a charge in our system currently. It might have to be.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it
Anyway,
should
I'll
be
be back to
charged in the system per se, but
Oh no, we are looking at trying to find an elegant solution to people who are storing their weapons and stuff at the top of Chiliad or in underwater.
I mean, Chiliad is one thing. Like, if you're trying to actually hide it, like a weapon cache, I could understand that. But in the water,
That seems like a
Wouldn't that
federal issue to
degrade
me.
your weapon? Like,
yeah, that's the
over
problem. The
time?
seawater is like horrible for any kind
yeah,
of.
salt water.
Yeah.
Terrible.
The argument we decided to come to is to submit a search warrant along with a claim of Rags versus San Andreas that the only reason somebody would be putting military crates and safes in the ocean and in hunting grounds and state parks is for hunting and fishing purposes, and then
Okay,
searching them
that-
with that, with the additional requirement of a search warrant to justify it to limit their power a little bit. So the Rangers are going to love it, and we can also get these assholes.
I've been having officers actually asking me about that recently, about what they should do if they find a bunch of crates that like a suspect is near at the time, that sort of thing. Like, do
Proximity,
they
I
have
don't know.
exigency if they're able to just or if they see the person like run to the crates?
Exigency still has the plain view doctrine. So unless you could see something go into the crate or out of the crate, you can't search the crate.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that the plain view doctrine comes into play after you believe you have exigent circumstances. So you can enter the premises of a building or a business under exigent circumstances, but you can't just go searching through the entire place. You would only be able to search for things that you could see via the plain view doctrine. So if you see a duffel bag and an AK hanging out of it, you could search that duffel bag. If they've got it hidden in a crate of a building they just fled to, you still need a search warrant.
See, that was something that came up the other day. Was there was some people that had someone flee from an officer-involved shooting towards a crate, and I don't know if they had opened the crate or anything, but they ran up to the crate, and they wanted a search warrant, or they wanted to use exigent circumstances to search it, not get a search warrant.
Yeah, I helped
Yeah,
with
no.
that one actually. I helped file the search warrant.
If you're in doubt, always get a search warrant.
And that's what I said as well. I actually spoke with Maestri as well, and government property still needs a search warrant.
Yep.
So I
Which
was
is
right.
what we're saying with the the state
And,
parks and stuff too. Like
Yep.
Rags versus San Andreas can apply, but you should still put a search warrant in, so we don't end up with another issue of Rangers just unrelentlessly searching private property.
Right.
Would
And I
you-
get their point. They want judges around, and it can be tough to get things through. But I feel like we've gotten some search warrants pushed through really quick lately.
Would you need a warrant for taking down stuff that people put up?
That they have to do an eviction notice if
Yeah.
it's a squatting situation.
Yeah, so permitless property would just be an eviction notice. I have
Usually
no
it's 7
concrete
days.
framework, but yeah, I've had 3 days and 7 days be seemed, depending on the scale of the structure. Like if
Also,
you
I'm
come
pretty
up,
sure you guys heard Sydney was trying to get hers extended. That's a no-go. She literally kidnapped a ranger and shot a trooper yesterday and was sharing it all over Life Invader.
You know, the troopers hate sending that's.
She tried to go through Bishop to make it happen to get to me, and I was looking into it, and then she went and kidnapped a ranger and took them to the place to like threaten them.
I helped the Rangers out with a situation where there's people squatting in a parking lot down by the South Hunting Grounds. And there was a pallet of marijuana we found next to the place. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but they managed to take it down for that reason. They actually had a stakeout for an hour or two, but they didn't find anybody. But But the next day I came back and everything was taken down, so I'm assuming that it was taken down for that reason. So if we find a bunch of drugs on the property, is it fine to take stuff down in that situation?
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat that?
If there was a bunch of drugs found on the property, do
Plainview?
we still have? Do you have the right then to take stuff down on the property?
Is it Plainview?
Yes.
I feel like you'd have the right to take that stuff, and then that would give you the search warrant or the reasoning to have it taken down. But in that moment, I think you would still need to get that approved by a judge.
Okay. Yeah.
Anytime you're taking down any kind of property or searching any kind of property or anything, it's just better to you have the exigent circumstances or whatever to take paraphernalia or things that are in plain view as evidence, but then that helps you get the search warrant or the reasoning for the eviction. To me, that's just literally a quick paragraph and shoot it to a judge and get it taken care of, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's been the case so far. And then I've also had Maestri just say, in a lot of these cases, you're not going to know who it belongs to, so just leave a note there, go back, leave a note again the day after, give them 3 to 7 days. If they've not responded or contacted, tear their shit down, store it in evidence. This is extra important if it's illegal, because if then they're stupid enough to contact you and say, that was my shit,
Then you have who it is.
Yeah.
Also, make sure the cops are putting notices after searches, because they can forget, it can be hectic, whatever. Make sure that they're, because we have had a couple where we didn't know whose stash it was necessarily.
There's still be cases though where you can take stuff down. If someone were to put like a roadblock in the middle of the road, I feel like
If it's something like that, I mean, that would seem like a situation, yes. But we're talking more about like people that have set up squatting areas. But if you have people that are, if they're like blocking fire exits and putting shit in the way that's a danger to the public, then yeah, I feel like that would be something the cops could take care of.
so people taking over a parking lot wouldn't be the equivalent.
It depends on like what the parking lot is. Is it like a parking garage, like a public parking garage where people are parking their cars?
No.
A permit would never be granted for a parking garage.
Yeah.
I'd feel pretty comfortable with the parking garage getting tore down pretty fucking fast. I'd be like 24-hour notice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that would.
Wah, if you're not ready.
Right.
But if it's anything like a through pass or access that any emergency services would need to have, tear that shit down.
Okay.
Like, in my opinion, at that point, your quote-unquote property rights go up when you're impeding the safe access of, EMS, PD, fire services.
In the case I was referencing, the rangers were saying that a lot of people would go to park there, but there were a bunch of signs saying, no trespassing, and we're gonna, we own this kind of place, for a parking lot, and that the people who go there would often park there to hunt. Like that was like the parking spot to hunt down in the south, and they would have to park illegally otherwise most times, and it was causing issues because of that.
I mean, I'm assuming they weren't given a permit for that.
No, they weren't. They were trying to probably monetize or annoy the fuck out of people by doing it.
It was just like a gang setup. There was jokes and stuff on the property, so someone, the Saints of Swings, they call themselves.
I mean, I would just give them 24-hour notice to move if that was the case.
Yep. And if they're stupid enough to let themselves know, that's probably a charge or 3 as well. I've seen on some, even on like lawful businesses too, like owned brick and mortar places, they'll be like, trespassers will be shot.
Well,
well, if the owner admits to putting that up, that's another charge too.
Holiday contact in 66.
Castle Doctrine does not apply to property. And the premeditated, I'm going to shoot you if you come onto my property when there is legal recourse for it already, is a literal criminal threat.
This is in Texas.
Doesn't Texas have Castle Doctrine? Like if you come on the property, you can shoot somebody?
Yeah, but it's more loose than ours, actually.
That's actual Castle Doctrine.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground is like borderline fucking lunacy, to the point that when I lived there, I wouldn't even knock on somebody's door if I didn't know them after like 9 p.m. Fuck that.
Luckily, we don't live in that state.
Yeah,
so,
Yeah, because Texas is a fucking hellhole.
Oh, someone's...
Go ahead.
Someone's calling for.
Do you have available DA down for a consultation on 2 individuals with they're 295s. They also have a linked charge.
Oh, sure, I'll head down.
Thank you. We just down here at the cells.
All right, Ranger time, baby. Let's try Underwood first.
Excuse me. Let me
Oh, sorry.
front. Hey, see.
I also did manage to snap a quick pic of that first vehicle as well.
Fantastic. G'day, Les. How you doing?
Hey, hold on, help with something.
Yeah. So the simplicity of it is, mate. There were 3 individuals in this vehicle fleeing from police. We have apprehended 2 of them. The one we didn't apprehend during the police chase reached for something, and then very soon afterwards, an explosion happened in the tunnels next to the troopers. We believe they threw a grenade at the troopers. So the people we have in cells are the accomplices to said action. We know that there was an action of reaching and then an explosion that happened in the tunnels afterwards. We want to charge them with accomplice to aggravated attempted second-degree murder. Times ex-troopers.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Sydney has now just requested a lawyer.
Okay. Yeah.
That's your one, right? So we
Yeah.
trying to work on. Get one.
This is
Time
you
now
got to talk to these
7:45.
guys. I'm just I was just there one. I was the eyes.
Who was driving exactly?
It would have been Sam Brown. He's my 95 right here. Didn't actually witness him pull anybody out of the first vehicle, so it's just gonna be possession of stolen property in front of the ATM robbery.
For it to be possession of stolen property, it has to be reported stolen.
Okay.
So
Grand Theft Auto then.
Grand Theft
Yes.
Auto.
I may run through a quick synopsis here. Let me see.
There'll be 1 Grand Theft Auto and 1 aggravated Grand Theft Auto. The blue vehicle was they pulled them out with force.
Okay. So that first one wasn't reported stolen. I can just take that off. That's fine too. Let me get back here to this.
And who was the one who threw the grenade?
It would be the 3rd individual that we didn't apprehend.
Okay, and they were just
That's
in
one of these.
the passenger.
Want to admit to it? Yeah, it was the passenger.
Okay.
There was 3. There was the driver, Sam Brown, the passenger that we have apprehended, Sydney Brown, and then a 3rd dressed in blue. The person dressed in blue reached for something, and then moments later, an explosion happened in the tunnel next to the troopers.
Did Sydney do anything else to during the
No,
chase?
that's it.
I mean, right
They,
now, Sydney's, aside from all that, she's looking at felony robbery, accomplice to Grand Theft Auto, accomplice to aggravated Grand Theft Auto, resisting arrest, accomplice to evading.
Yeah, see, the thing you have to, the accomplices assist others to commit a crime, or prevent the apprehension of suspects for a crime. So at the very least, the driver will get accomplice in the situation.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Being a passenger is not enough to be an accomplice. They have to be aiding in some way.
So the driver's also getting an accomplice to which one robbery?
Oh, 100%, mate.
Okay.
Yes, the driver because they were helping people get away, if they had done that, then they would get all the charges that that person did as accomplice.
shouldn't do that. That's an explicit.
The driver gets the most charges in any case here, mate, because they get every
Got
charge
it.
that everyone else
I would love
gets,
to see you drink him a
plus
lot.
whatever they do. So yeah.
If
'Cause they're
it's
the-
an ATM, is that still considered an institution? So that'd be a felony robbery,
Yeah,
right?
it's felony robbery, exactly.
Gotcha. All right, so just going through it, the driver themselves, that's what I've been able to work out so far. And I appreciate you coming down, DA. Thank you.
Was there, like,
have-
did you guys find them and then they jumped into a car together? Or exactly what happened?
So we were on the scene, the synopsis here, and I'll try and make it an elevator speech. We pull up, myself and the primary vehicular unit, they pull up to the scene
That's
at the
me.
Fleeca Bank south of Legion. Yep. And there was a red and color sedan, 3 occupants, one drilling into a safe, one behind the wheel already with the vehicle engine running, pointed in a direction of evasion. There was another one trying to make an act of subterfuge to give the driller some more time. They fled the scene throughout the city very recklessly, and vehicle was smoking. They swapped vehicles and forcibly pulled somebody. The second one was blue, or was it the last one? They were both blue, I thought.
First one was red, second one was blue.
Second one was blue. They swapped vehicles. In my eyes, they did twice because they started with a red. Did they go to another red, or am I mistaken there?
You're mistaken. It was the first red that they started with. Then we got them boxed in on Elgin near that mechanic shop.
Yep.
All 3 of them bailed out. The Sam Brown went and got a blue in color vehicle, same make and model, I'm pretty sure. And picked the 2 of them up, and that was
Yep.
it. That was the only swap.
Yeah, so it's 1 times aggravated grand theft order for the blue and 1 times grand theft order for the red.
Because I swear they were in that red sedan originally, and then they got into that Charger-looking vehicle, and you called out over radio. This one's way faster than the first.
No,
that was a
you're
different 80 from earlier.
That's a different 80. That was the Littlemans.
I'm so sorry. It's been a doozy.
That's
of a day.
okay. That's all right. They were back to back, so that's fine.
Yeah.
If she was,
so,
if she was aiding with the original crime, and they ran to the car together, then that would make her an accomplice, I believe, to the throwing the grenade.
Yeah, so she definitely joined the second vehicle, and it was in the second vehicle that they did the grenade throwing.
Yeah.
So they didn't do it in the first vehicle. Are you saying that if they did it in the first vehicle and then ran to the second vehicle together, she's an accomplice?
I was saying that if they were committing a crime together and they were fleeing together, that would also make her, rather than accomplice evading, it would just be evading. And then she would also get the charge of accomplice to what he did because they were trying to get away together.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So, yeah, if you can prove evading for them, or for the passenger, then absolutely you can charge her with an accomplice to anything that happens for other passengers in the vehicle.
Yeah, so I think what happens here is that they all get Grand Theft Auto straight up because they were all involved in stealing that vehicle. They all get evading straight up because they're all involved in evading. Driver gets accomplice to felony robbery. Driver gets reckless endangerment. And then they probably all get accomplice to aggravated second-degree murder, attempted, times however many troopers were on the pursuit. I think it was 3.
Correct.
Well, you're giving the driver reckless endangerment instead of evading?
No, with it. Because he drove recklessly. He
Yeah.
endangered their lives.
And since they hit triple digits, I was going to put reckless speeding in here too, but that seems too stacky. I'm going to take that off.
I don't think you need to, mate, if you got evading, right? Especially if you're doing
Yeah.
reckless endangerment already.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that off. Okay. The other things too, and this is from like one of our shift change meetings as well, because they to get out of a box formation, they hit y'all's 2 like police cruisers. They didn't hit mine ever, but they intentionally rammed to move a space so they could squeeze out of the box twice on your 2 cruisers. That's 2 times aggravated simple assault. As we've been
It wouldn't
instructed
be
to charge.
simple. It would be assault straight up, mate. It's a vehicle is a weapon.
So just aggravated assault.
Yep. Simple assault needs to be fists, essentially.
Gosh, let me change that one up then.
And the passengers would also get anything that the driver got, so they would also get accomplice to reckless endangerment, because they, well,
Yeah,
would be
they're all
accomplice or
trying
would
to
it be straight up
evade.
reckless endangerment? Let me think about that. No, it'd be accomplice.
Yeah, so the driver, I've got them for 1 count of reckless endangerment. And they're an accomplice to the felony robbery. They've got 1 count of grand theft auto, aggravated because they did force. They have 3 counts of criminal damage as well because they damaged all 3 police vehicles during the pursuit of baiting. And that's pretty much everything that I have here with the 2 regular assaults, not simple assaults.
All right, that sounds
Yeah.
right. So
Did you go
just so
for the,
you're aware, this is not normally the case for a passenger in a vehicle. You have to prove that they were also evading. Not that they get accomplished evading, that they got normal evading. Because if they're going and running away to a vehicle together, then they're all evading together.
Which they did. So there was a situation where they all ran to the vehicle to evade the felony robbery, and then when the vehicle got boxed in, they all split. The driver went and stole a new vehicle and picked all 3 passengers up, and they all evaded in that vehicle again. So they all evaded twice, essentially, in the pursuit together.
Were both cars
We're
stolen?
also
Say again?
Yes.
Or both, and then you can charge 2 times GTA.
No, yeah. So 1 times Grand Theft Auto and 1 times aggravated Grand Theft Auto.
Okay. So
All right, let me add that back into mine then.
the reason
No, I've got the 1 Grand Theft Auto. I can't prove or articulate the first vehicle because I didn't lock the plate. The second one we witnessed them pull somebody out of. I can't prove that first one was stolen because that was by the flake of miles ago.
Okay. All right.
That's
Yeah, you
just-
probably have a plate lock if you go check your radar.
I mean, I got a photo of the car itself. It was pretty beat up. I mean, we can prove that they didn't own it.
That's all you need to do. If you can prove they don't own it, then that's pretty much you're there.
Yeah,
Burden
I
of
mean,
proof is 51%.
yeah, we pushed the charge of Grand Theft Auto. The onus in terms of proving that it's not Grand Theft Auto is kind of on them at that point. Like
It
we
is.
know that they
Yep.
didn't own it. We know they have a history of stealing cars, so that's enough.
It is.
Yeah. And I know at least for my 95, they've been super compliant. They did receive some GSWs as well through the course of it. It went on over 30 minutes, so we did have to originally fire to disable the vehicle's tires, and they started running. So I'm not sure what happened in between.
They ran on foot, no weapons in hands. Then eventually, surrendered.
Yeah.
Yeah. After they threw the grenade, we essentially made the call to have a primary vehicle inform them that if they didn't stop the pursuit, that that they would be shot upon to end the pursuit after the grenade thrown. And
Yeah.
they didn't stop, and then we opened fire, and then they all stopped very quickly after that, and then we ceased fire.
Yep. All right.
So, okay, well, hold on. What are we doing with this grenade thing? Are we actually looking to push that charge?
It's the only charge you can push is second degree, because it's not really a premeditated situation. However,
I know
throwing
that.
A,
It's just that-
throwing a grenade at someone, the only thing you can argue is that if there is intent to kill, you can't say there's intent to harm.
I'm just debating whether we're pushing any charge at all.
I think you should, personally.
I would say if it was just
And just for your information, Sydney Brown is an actual convicted cop killer.
I know.
So,
I know Sydney very well.
I would say if it was just like a pistol that they were shooting at you, probably would just be aggravated battery. But a grenade is something like, because most people know the cops have vests, right? But if it's a grenade, grenades are meant to kill in a wide range.
See, my issue with it is the fact that I was all the way in the back. I didn't actually see anything. Is the problem I have. Did you see anything?
Everyone saw an explosion, but couldn't locate, exactly where it was, and it meant it had to be in the tunnel, basically.
At that point in the chase, I was directly behind them as the primary unit, and to the right side, just out my passenger door and behind me about 12 feet, I saw a medley of sparks and fire and flames. So
Yeah, so it sounds like the grenade flew out the window, got caught under something, and it exploded. And thankfully, because it got caught under something, there was no damage done.
I'm not sure what
Okay.
how close the secondary was in the tunnels, but I could see it out like my side view, and it was bright. But I was trying to focus on their taillights.
I mean, if you feel like you were far enough away, that there was no intention to hit you, Riggs, then just go for 2 times. But like I personally would hit them with as many troopers that could have been killed in that situation as there were.
I'm just putting it down for 2 myself.
Okay. No, I'm just looking for consistency. I want to do the same thing you're doing, so that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it would have been against either primary or secondary. I'm glad it landed right between us.
2 times accomplice to attempted second-degree murder. Aggravated.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Did Sam ask for a lawyer?
I think they both did. Yeah.
He might
we have a
changed his
lawyer
mind. I
coming
didn't
for
ask
him?
him. Sydney did ask.
I know an attorney actually. I can just call one down real quick.
He's
if you-
probably going to want a lawyer after this. So I'm going to call and just tell him they might be representing.
Yeah,
Okay.
the DA said that they're going to call a lawyer down that they know who's around.
Oh, okay.
All right, thanks, Liz.
Yeah, glad I could help you guys out. See you. I'm questioning my own logic now about whether it would be normal evading or accomplished evading.
Saltwater Cowboys, right?
Alright, I'll let you in. See. You wanna turn in your weapons real quick? See.
I don't have any weapons.
Alright. Let's see. Sorry. There you go.
Come on in.
Wait, where's the lawyer? Oh,
Locked.
I wasn't able to get in.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what the charges are. I just need to pop upstairs real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
See, there's a lot of charges.
Okay.
A lot of charges. I believe we're giving evading. I mean, I believe it was evading reckless endangerment.
You said evading?
Yeah, one time's evading, one time's reckless endangerment. One time's accomplice to use of an explosive. And I believe, I don't know how many officers, I think it's 3 times attempted second-degree murder. For that explosive. Accomplice to felony robbery. resisting as well, I believe.
What you're doing?
Big chitin, big chitin.
Oh, Sydney, how's your brother?
He's over there.
Wait, I can't even see.
Oh.
Hey.
Is that all?
There might be more.
Oh, are you young?
I think there's maybe one more, but I don't have the exact charges that they were wanting to push listed down.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. Is it
I gotta
both of
check this
them,
out, I
or
gotta
is it
check
just
this
one
out.
person?
Both of them, but the driver was getting more in that regards from what I remember, and then she was getting accomplice to most of the stuff he did though.
Yeah, I have to go and re-inform him of his charges. I left two of the two largest ones out.
Or what happened?
With the whole grenade thing.
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk to him about. Oh, I'll just inform him and then I'll let him have this. Are you representing Mr. Sam Brown?
I'm unsure on who exactly I'm representing. I was just called here to
Can you
represent
please
one
overview?
person. I could represent both of them if they're in the same
What?
scenario.
Yep, you're the older brother. Who's saying?
Give me just one second.
Older.
Yeah, he's older than you.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just saying. That's it.
I'm not sure if they both request an attorney or not, but see.
We can just sort that now.
Yep. Well, that's why I called you down for the one person. That's what I mean. So.
Hey Trooper, can you move me to a cell next door and then we can share an attorney?
They're gonna be separate charges because he was the driver. She was not. Hold on now. So the only reason I can't do that, Mr. Brown, is because he was the driver and she was facing the police officers. They were not driving at any point, so the charges are a little bit different. Okay. Yeah. Listen, man. We appreciate your cooperation. We're gonna try and work with you as much as we can, but I need to give you your.
Did they?
Do we have any judges available right now?
Also, I just realized, for possessing the grenade, that is illegal. Well, I guess the person who possessed it didn't have, hasn't been caught. I was gonna say you could charge him with that, but accomplice to possession doesn't really work.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But that unfortunately was the only one that got away out of.
Yep.
That's a good point, though. Yeah.
right now. What you need it for?
So, I know that
There's somebody in the lobby
City
that
Brown
needs a survey
requested an
done.
Attorney first and foremost, sir. I'm Trooper Halliday. I'm 105. My suspect in custody is Sam Brown, who has also asked for representation, and I can go over his list of charges once you're finished talking with Miss Sydney Brown right there. You don't mind?
Could you just give me the charges right now for both of them?
I can give you, if you're ready, I can give you the full list of charges for Mr. Sam Brown.
Oh yeah, I can. We can start with Sam Brown.
Two counts of attempted aggravated second-degree murder. 2 counts of aggravated assault. 1 count of reckless endangerment. 1 count of accomplice to felony robbery. 1 count of GTA. 3 counts of criminal damage. 1 count of evading.
Okay. Do you want to go through the entire scenario of how you got to these charges?
Sure. Would you like to speak just outside the glass so I can ensure our privacy?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, the long.
Are you saying anything?
What's up, party people?
Yes.
I
Can
didn't
you hear
catch
me
that.
better now? Can you
I
hear-
can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Okay. So we arrived on a scene for an ATM robbery, and we observed Mr. Sam Brown in the driver's seat of a vehicle that came back to no matching records. We can't prove they stole them, but we ordered them to stop. There was a third individual, blue, is not 95 right now, and then we also have Sydney Brown. So for the course of conversation, until I mention the grenade, we'll forget this guy in blue. Sydney was drilling into an ATM. There were 2 officers on scene. Air 1 arrived. They began to evade northbound. They evaded in that vehicle for quite a while. They became pinned. They were hitting several locals, going at triple digits in downtown, which far exceeds our 40-mile-per-hour speed limit, crossing center lines, hitting lampposts, things like that. They then were pinned near Mirror Park Customs, I believe is the mechanic shop up there, which they bailed on foot, all 3 of them. Mr. Sam Brown forcibly removed somebody from the possession of their vehicle to control that vehicle, and then continued a pursuit where they picked up Miss Sydney Brown and the 3rd individual. They continued that evading on very high speeds to the canals, while officers the entire time made contact visually with them, lights and sirens going at all times through the canals. We got a little bit of a distance on them, still had them in eyesight. Well, as soon as they either slowed down or we were just catching up, as soon as we got right up behind them again, a suspect was observed by one of the pursuing vehicles reaching into their possession and putting their hand out the window. At all times, they were putting their hands out the window, flipping us off and stuff like that. May have been an act of subterfuge. This individual reached down. They had their hand out the window. They reached back into the vehicle for something. They put their hand back out. And later we heard an explosion, which sounded exactly like a grenade exploding. It was between the primary car, which was myself, and the secondary car, which is my fellow officer. He should be down here in just a sec. Air 1 also witnessed the explosion that occurred, and they continued to evade. No officers were harmed during that. However, as soon as we started boxing them in with rolling boxes, they began to ram officers' vehicles, hence the charges for, I believe, aggravated assault. They didn't ever strike my vehicle. However, I can articulate personally that through the first box and also through the 2nd and 3rd and 4th box attempts, they rammed officers' vehicles out of the way with their vehicle to get some distance so they could break the box. Ended up near the wind farms on Norway, to which they ran on foot. The vehicle was disabled. They hit all 3 cruisers at least one point in time, whether intentionally or unintentionally, hence the criminal damage. The Grand Theft Auto was from that blue car they stole. The felony robbery from the original ATM. Reckless endangerment because this person was evading recklessly with 2 occupants inside. Aggravated assault for intentionally ramming the 2 other cruisers, not myself. And the attempted aggravated or accomplice to aggravated 2nd-degree murder really hinges on whether or not that was a grenade that was dropped out of the window. That's honestly the one that I'm least. Go ahead.
So you said for the attempted aggravated 2nd-degree murder, that's accomplice?
It would be, yeah, accomplice. I have 3 accomplices here, and 1 accomplice is attached to their robbery because they were the getaway driver, allegedly. And they have 2 alleged accomplice to aggravated 2nd-degree murder. 2nd-degree murder because of the intention of dropping a grenade with pursuing vehicles. Aggravated because it was against law enforcement officers. And accomplice because they didn't actually have the item in hand. But to 3 officers' testimony, it sure as hell sounded like a grenade.
Unless there was a random explosion after they reached for something, that's...
Hell of a coincidence.
Okay. And so then, I guess for the 3x criminal damages, is that for each instance of them hitting the vehicles for getting out of the box? Is that correct?
It's for them hitting different vehicles. 3 different vehicles.
It's, yeah, whether intentional or unintentional, damaging government property during the course of evasion, 3 times criminal damage. The 2 that were intentional to ram cruisers out of the way is where you get the 2 times aggravated assault.
Okay. And then are you willing to do a guilty plea if that's possible?
We could accept a guilty plea.
Is there any time off that you're willing to drop, or any charges that you're willing to drop for a guilty plea?
As far as charges go, not necessarily. They've got, as far as I'm concerned, they've been in custody here. By my watch, at least 35, 40? Rounding up, 38, 40. I'm not one to really be... He has been very compliant. I'm really not one to make deals with people who are aggressive towards cops. However, as an accomplice, my client, or rather my 95, Sam, individually has been very compliant. I can potentially... Can I say how much, DA? Can I
Yeah,
say
absolutely.
How much I'd go?
As
Okay.
long as you're talking to the attorney rather than their client.
I could, after time served, further reduce it down by 25. Let me do some quick mathematics. Let me see how much that would leave them with. Okay, so I can take, and I'm rounding up to for the 40 months time served, which brings them down to 548 with an additional 25% reduction brings them to 411. The fine I can't adjust at all. But I can give them a 25 reduction on their time if they wanted to plead guilty. That's it's up to them.
So then you would say it would be 111 months then?
111. Down from 588 originally.
Okay, 580. And then regarding the person who reached out and threw something, is that correct? That you said?
Yeah, they, from what we could articulate, they dropped or threw a grenade in a confined space of the tunnels near Davis Street and pulled the pin in which they would anticipate it exploding with the 2 pursuing cop cars behind them, yes.
And you were not able to identify the specific person who did that, right?
We have a visual description. Weren't really identify them with a government identity, no.
So it's neither of my clients here were the one that did that, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, and then you don't have the charges for Sydney Brown. Is that correct?
Don't. And you have to forgive me, I haven't worked with them too long. The other
It's okay.
officer, I'm not sure if they're here with us right now. It was the other blonde officer. Did you catch their name?
I didn't get their name, no. Let's see.
I'm just got their report up here. I'll be able to tell you. Is he not in here? Why did he leave before his 95 was processed?
What are they looking for?
What was that?
What are they looking for? What are you guys looking for?
Another blonde officer.
Oh, Riggs. It's Trooper Riggs.
Is that Riggs?
I think there's having a meeting upstairs. I'm not sure.
What? Well, what? Pardon?
I think they were having a meeting upstairs.
I didn't. Is my radio broken?
What is Rick's command? That might be the reason.
No, it wasn't. No, I think it's an FTO, but that's it.
No, let me just see what Riggs has written up so far. I'll try and take over what he's got done. My radio was off for some. Oh, you know why? I turned it off to get the other walkie out. It's my bad.
But we can let the attorney talk to his clients. Wait.
There we go. Hey, Riggs.
All right, how we looking?
We were just going over charges. I think we get them all squared away. The attorneys here for Sydney and Sam.
Hello.
They just want to get your full list of charges for Sydney.
All right, should be pretty much the same, to a degree. So 2 times accomplice to attempted aggravated second-degree murder, felony robbery, accomplice to Grand Theft Auto, accomplice to aggravated Grand Theft Auto, and then resisting arrest and
Can you slow
evading.
down a bit? So
I'm
back-
so sorry. I'm
Yeah,
so
it's all
sorry. I
good.
forgot.
Sorry,
man.
I'm,
I know it's a long list.
So it was at the felony robbery. Is that?
Okay,
is
yeah.
that-
Okay, felony robbery, and then accomplice to Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, you may need to lower your voice just a little bit. If you're in the meeting, I don't know if he's still charged up from that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, accomplice to Grand Theft Auto, accomplice to aggravated Grand Theft Auto, and then resisting arrest, evading.
How did you get to the accomplice to aggravated Grand Theft Auto?
We saw them. They swapped to a secondary vehicle during the pursuit. They ripped the driver, which would have been Sam, brother, ripped the driver from the vehicle.
Then what about the first accomplice to Grand Theft Auto?
First vehicle is well, it's definitely stolen. Not registered to any of them. So that's him.
I had taken that one off on Sam's because he was already faced a lot being the driver, but to officer discretion, we kind of write the charges up as we go.
I mean, if you're taking off Sam, I'll also take it off Sydney. It's small
Yeah.
potatoes compared to everything else.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna do possession of stolen property as well, but that might have been more fitting. They've been here for a while.
I'm fine with that. I'll drop Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Okay, so then for Sydney, it's 2 times accomplished attempted aggravated second-degree murder, 1 time felony robbery, 1 time
Yep.
accomplished to aggravated GTA,
Uh-huh.
and then resisting arrest,
And evading.
and then invade.
Yeah, you got it.
Regarding the resisting arrest,
Uh-huh.
can you explain that a bit more?
I mean, yes.
So, like, did they, break cuffs and then they start running after
Yes.
breaking cuffs?
Yes, she did. Yeah, she broke cuffs initially when I tried to cuff her. Then I was successful with cuffing her the second time. But aside from that, I mean, she ran.
Yeah, so she was running.
Yeah.
Then. Okay. And then, are you willing to do a guilty plea for Sydney Brown? And if so, then what would be any time served or any charges dropped for that?
I mean, if she's willing to, we're not gonna. There wouldn't be any other charges dropped at this point. That Grand Theft Auto was pretty much the only charge I'd be willing to drop, and that really didn't do much. Because right now, with those 2 attempted second degrees, and the total time is 532 months. Fine is 17,306. For a guilty plea,
How much was the fine again, sorry?
$17,306.
Okay.
A guilty plea, given how long they've been here, I do apologize. I did have to run to a meeting.
Oh, it's all good. All good. I can't really help that.
I mean, I don't know. Did you already talk about a guilty plea? Because I mean, I'd be willing to match whatever we're doing with Sam.
Yeah, I don't like to. I'm giving at this point after the meeting and everything. I've rounded up to 45 months time served originally, and on top of that, as much as I hate giving reductions, especially when they're aggressive towards cops, especially ramming our vehicles and tossing grenades out windows, I gave them the potential for an extra 25, as high as I could possibly go. Percent.
Okay, 20. So what? 70 months total.
Would be redo the math.
45,
here.
25.
It would be 25% on what's left after.
Oh,
the
25.
45%.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see,
percentage.
Okay. I mean, at this time, given the amount of time it is and how long they've been here, with a guilty plea, I'd be willing to take off 60 months.
And that's also including the time that they served here.
That, yeah, the 60 months will be include the time here plus guilty plea. Never had
then,
Sydney
for
not
us-
plead guilty, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then for Sydney Brown, it'd be 432 months. Is that correct?
That is 400. No, it would be, Jesus Christ, math. 532 months minus 60 months. Wherever that is, 472 months.
And then plus time served. Well, we're not going to count that yet.
Oh no, that was including time served.
Oh, okay.
The
Including
60
time
months
served?
was including time served.
Oh, okay, okay.
Wait, sorry, you're confusing me.
All right. No, I was saying I was giving them time served, and then I was taking an additional 25 off of that.
Oh, okay.
Compliance and
Okay,
cooperation and a
what is the
guilty plea.
total time that you're looking to take off right now?
We do quick math. 181 off of Sam from what I just did here.
Say that again.
45 months time off, and then from that reduction, there was an additional 25% on their total, which brings them down to 407 from the original 588, bringing that to 1 something something.
Okay. I'll speak candidly. You're confusing the shit out of things with the whole 25%.
I'm used to doing percent
I
reductions.
see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. It's just, it's complicating things.
I don't know if we should be doing percent reductions. To be quite honest,
It's just that's
Flat
too
reduction.
good. We can just agree upon a nice even number to make life simple.
Divisible by 5, of course. That's all.
They've been in here for 45 months already.
Yeah, yeah.
How far would you like to round that up? Is what I'm asking. I'll do the same for Sam.
I was good with 60.
60 sounds fine.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so then for Sam Brown, what would be the original time and what would be the guilty plea?
588 original, 528 guilty.
And what was the fine for Sam Brown?
Sam's was, he was the driver in all three, or two, or however many. 20,394. 20394. Yeah, he was a little bit heavier because of the fact they were the driver.
Okay. I think I have everything I need. I'll be talking with my clients. Is there anything
Okay.
else you guys want to talk beforehand? I provided
Nope.
that.
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
Not at all.
By all
Thank
means.
you.
Should we put them in like next to each other or?
They're fine.
Oh, they're fine. Can they hear me or do I have to go back?
Yeah, you know that.
Riggs, I was told by somebody, I'm not sure if you remember the arrest a few days ago with the people at Impound, where they were creating their own impound. They claimed to have the own the place.
Yeah. What about it?
Or do you remember this?
Yeah. What about
They had said that you searched their property without a warrant. Is that true?
Well, first off, not their property. And second off, no.
What happened exactly?
So I got a call from Fred Jones stating that his vehicle was being held hostage. It was all very confusing. So I just went to wherever he was to try to figure out what was going on. When I showed up, it was still back parking lot area. It's off Popular. It's kind of like behind the buildings, which is at the intersection of Popular and Vespucci. It's right there. There's a car dealer that operates out of there. They had a bunch of additional chain link fences set up and a sign stating Impound Town. They were charging $1,000 release fees. after we, me and the other officers on scene, we looked into it to try to figure out what this was and what was going on. Come to find out that they might be an operational business, at least in terms of the business name, but they had no occupancy permit for the actual space themselves, so they were not cleared to operate as a functioning impound. They were still required to take vehicles to the state impound. I don't know if anything has changed with that since. I haven't heard.
I confirmed that with Judge Emma. That's it.
That they didn't have it or they did have it.
They did not have that authority.
Yeah, someone, I can't remember who called her on the phone, but they called her and confirmed. Oh, was that you, Higgins? Did you
Yeah,
call?
it might have been me. Yeah, she did definitely. didn't have
One of us called. It wasn't me. I know it wasn't me. Called and confirmed with her that they didn't have an occupancy permit and they weren't supposed to operate. So based off that information, actually no, it wasn't Higgins. It was one of the officers on scene because we made that decision on scene and then we reconfirmed after we got them here.
I called her again afterwards to make sure.
Yeah,
because we weren't sure who called and asked.
So at the time, we placed them under arrest for Grand Theft Auto. Had another unit transport them. We stayed behind. We removed one of the chain link fences so that the owners of the vehicles, two of which were present, could reclaim their vehicles. The owner of the motorcycle that was in there wasn't present, so we hotwired and moved it so that it wouldn't get stuck.
Okay. All right. They were saying that
That's
you searched
basically
their,
it. We
their
didn't
storage
really
on the
search
property.
their-
That's
What's that?
They were claiming that you searched their storage on the property, but if that's not the case, I see it.
Honestly, didn't know they had storage on the property. Didn't go that far.
All right. Well, thank you for telling me that.
All I know, essentially, yeah, they stole 3 vehicles. is what it came to.
Oh yeah, they tried asking me to drop charges because they said that they had authority from Emma, and I'm like, all right, well, let me call Emma first before. And I called her, and she's like, no, I told them they could take the cars to impound, not to their impound.
Yeah, they could. That was my understanding of that they could operate as a functional business, like a towing business. But they still had to take everything to the state impound. And I don't believe they were also authorized to be charging people $1,000 fee.
It's my understanding people can charge anything they want for a job fee. There's no legislation about that.
Oh yeah, they can
Outside
charge
the
whatever.
normal impound fee, they can charge whatever they want.
Yeah,
I feel we need a little bit more regulation. on that.
I heard just the other day someone made, was it 40K in a day doing tow trucking?
What?
Yeah, charging people job fees for the job fees.
How much were they charging? Jesus Christ, 40 grand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no. We got to get some more regulation on these tow truck workers. That's crazy.
That is
too much.
insane. That's
Good business, right?
I mean, that's a very good business. I can look at it from the perspective of business and that being good, but also I'm looking at that as being almost
We're a
feels
capital
almost
society, my
criminal.
friend. It's capitalism for you.
It is capitalism. I heard capitalism is it's got an end date. So maybe we should move away from it.
What else is better than capitalism?
I don't know.
That's a good question,
Heard
all
some
right?
good things about socialism lately.
But Riggs, think about this. You can make 40 grand in one day just towing.
I
That
heard
could be you.
Norway isn't Norway socialist? They're doing just fine.
Well, I mean, I believe, what was it? I believe South America is considered, a lot of the countries there are socialist, Brazil and whatnot. And they're not doing the... Usually I'd like to say that if the government has power, they always misuse it in some form. Whether it be favoritism, whether it be corruption, whether it be just stupidity of not understanding what should be resources should be used on.
Either way, those two didn't get their towing license reinstated, did they?
No, they're still charged with GTA.
Hey, did anybody did Sydney drive? I'm curious.
No.
Darn.
You want to charge her with operating with a license? Is that what you're looking for?
Every single time I see her, she's been driving, so this is kind of a surprise to me, to be quite honest.
No, she was not driving.
Yeah, they were too busy drawn into the ATM to be driving.
Yeah. The Sam Brown was the getaway driver. He was sitting in the car the whole time.
So you were the one that stole the vehicle at GTA? In that instance,
Yeah, so if you read me the charges, I'll tell you which ones I'm related to.
Okay, so 2 times accomplice attempted aggravated second-degree murder.
Not guilty.
2 times aggravated assault for hitting the vehicles, the vehicles that the cops were trying to box you in with.
Well, that seems like stacking, so not guilty.
Anybody want a coffee? Anyone thirsty?
Sure, I'll take a coffee.
Good things.
Definitely
Wanna-
thirsty.
What's that?
I am totally thirsty. Yes.
You want coffee?
I would love one.
I'll get you one.
2 times the vehicles. Not guilty. And 1 time evading. So then, the only charges that you're really fighting is the 2 times attempted second-degree murder and the 2 times aggravated assault for using the staff. Is that correct? Off or the evading?
Hey, it
you
looks like we could
Thank you.
Take away some licenses today, huh?
Oh, from who?
Mr. Sam Brown, right? That's concealed carry.
Thank you. Yeah, concealed carry. I think he just came into town. Actually, we have a
Yeah,
graffiti
thanks,
charge.
We have vandalism.
It's too late to try to push this now. Don't forget about it. I just noticed, looked like something was tagged up over at MRPD, front wall out front. Can't remember exactly what it said, but I know it was tagged with Sam Brown at the bottom. No proof that he actually did it, but I mean, who else put someone else's name in graffiti?
Someone who's trying to frame him, probably like his sister, to be quite honest.
Yeah, could have been. Well, it said something along the lines of "There's 2 of us now."
Damages charge and the evading. So only
So.
the stealing of the vehicle and the robbery and the reckless endangerment.
What does that mean?
Well, there's two Browns now. Sam Brown, Sydney Brown.
Oh, I was thinking they had a kid or something. So.
Oh my God, they're
they're
brother and
related.
sister.
Oh,
That'd be weird.
I don't know. I mean, there's 2 now. That I
That'd be
would
illegal.
think that they're they're making more of them in some form. So.
God, I hope not. Jesus. How
I
much
think
more
we
time
charge
do we
him-
give him here? I know we took a long time, but he couldn't possibly still be explaining the charges.
Resisting arrest.
Not sure what he's saying. Can't hear him on the other side of the glass.
Did you run at all after the vehicle was boxed?
I'll be willing to bump it up to 100 months at this point as well.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the percentage thing. Like 20-25% sounds about right to take off for charges.
Didn't these guys try to kill you guys?
Yeah, they'll still be going up for 400 months.
Yeah, I would just
I'm
think of
gonna
it
have
as
to
a
worry
way
about them for
to
a
save some
quite a
paperwork,
while.
right?
Yeah, the
I wouldn't be too
percentage-
worried
That's a
about
true
it. I
killer
just
right
hear
there.
that I just hear about the Bolingbrook being a real hellscape.
The problem is that Sydney is a common offender, and I know there's people pushing for her to not be shown that much leniency.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
true.
There's
I've-
a couple of like career criminals, repeat offenders. They keep putting that breadcrumb trail down, and we get a pattern of behavior. It's tough for them to try and defend that. You know. Not that
I
we're
mean,
trying
yeah.
to squeeze it, but if it keeps happening every day, multiple times a day, you got to put our foot down somewhere, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We do.
So it'd be like 80 minutes. I mean, 80 months they would take off, including time off. What do you guys?
Same time. She killed a cop.
Yeah.
Yep. She probably shouldn't be on the streets at all. But that's all I got to say about that.
Want to put her away forever?
I mean, maybe we should. Killed a cop.
Put her down, maybe. And so.
Whoa.
I mean, yeah. Put her in. Put her in. Yeah. Yes.
You might put her down into the jail.
Technically north. I'd be up.
Not if you're Australian.
Southern Hemisphere.
Thank God none of us are Australian here. My God.
Oh, before they arrived on scene, he was holding a grenade, and then what happened when they were
I do think we need a lot of charges changed regarding time and fine as well, because there's a bunch of stuff that's very strange regarding this.
I agree, 100%.
I feel like somebody just dropped a 0 in the escaping custody one personally. Oh, here there.
Thank you. Okay, so they're not willing to entertain a full guilty plea that you guys offered. They would be willing to do a guilty plea if you dropped several of the charges. Mainly the 2 times accomplished to attempted aggravated second-degree murder. They state that this was all caused by the third guy. He was holding them up and forced them to do all of this.
If the circumstances were different regarding what we saw, then maybe we could entertain the idea that they were somehow being held hostage. But where Sydney was outside of the vehicle, drilling into an ATM at the original scene, that third individual, one in blue, was also out of the vehicle at that point in time. We had me and the other unit here. We were on scene. I mean, and then they also all got back into another car after that as well. I mean, it's, it just doesn't really pan out as some type of a hostage situation.
Well, this is assuming, let's say this is a grenade, because that's, the easiest explosive
Right.
to, talk about. So let's say it was a grenade. The third individual could always throw that grenade at them at whenever time and easily, kill them with that grenade. So I would say that, it'd be really hard, for them to run away successfully without, dying to that grenade. And, I think you guys, said before that, Sydney Brown usually pleads guilty. But, in this case, it might just be they were actually held hostage by this third individual with a grenade. And they were forced to do this.
Well, except for the fact that they willingly entered his vehicle.
Also, did they say anything when they were on scene? Did they say they were being held hostage to you guys?
No.
Never.
Oh.
I would say also at that point, it would also be pretty hard to say that, because then you're aggravating the hostage taker, which, could, lead them to, be killed as such.
Was there a weapon pointed at them at any point in time?
Even on the ride back from Eclipse Medical, when I was having a very chilled, laid back, cooperative conversation with Sam Brown, and I said, "Hey, what led up to tonight?" They mentioned nothing about a hostage taking at all during that entire 11-minute car ride. We was stopping at every red light. No, that just didn't pan out.
Here's
Sydney
the good
never
news, guys.
mentioned anything to me.
Here's the good news. We have a judge who's new, who probably wants to do a trial. So if we want to go do this, we can do this.
Yes, then I was going to suggest if you guys are not willing to drop any charges for a guilty plea, then we'd probably be going to bench. I think to your point about them not saying anything.
Who are these two
I would
judges?
say they had the right to remain silent about those specific cases if they chose to. I can talk with them just to confirm whether or not what their intention was during that car ride. Because they're all saying that this guy was doing this. So maybe I can talk them into a guilty plea, possibly.
Okay. Would there be a possibility of me having a sidebar with my fellow trooper and DA right here?
Oh yeah, you guys can do that while I talk with my clients about what happened during that car ride.
Okay. Thank you kindly. Appreciate it.
Okay, that's
So, from my experience, when you have one piece that isn't airtight in a list of charges, then all they have to do is pop a pin in that, and the whole thing just crumbles apart. We can articulate I don't know how many there are total, but we can articulate 95% of those. The one thing we can't say for certain is that we can visually see that it was a grenade, because that thing fell out the window and landed behind me. I couldn't see if it was a grenade. I couldn't honestly articulate that it was anything on the top of the road or whatever. So that's where I'm thinking it's a little weak.
Okay. So he threw the grenade at you guys, right?
The person in blue. Now, I can only speak based off the testimony of other officers.
Why are you
right
holding me?
now.
Because you keep running around.
The individual in blue apparently was shuffling around within the vehicle. They stuck their arm out of the vehicle. Shortly after, there was an explosion. We were in a pretty close proximity. We were just entering a subway tunnel off of Little Bighorn.
Sparks and fire at the entrance of the tunnel. Now there's an overpass right at the entrance as well. So I'm not just coincidentally.
We're getting
vehicle
sidetracked here. My question was just, he threw the grenade at you guys, right? Yes or no?
Or do you believe he threw the grenade at you?
There was an explosion, right? So then one of you guys said
cannot-
something?
There was an
or was it-
I cannot
I heard
say
it.
100%.
And he stuck his
I
arm out,
cannot
right?
say.
He stuck
They
his arm
stuck
out.
their arm out the window, and then shortly after that, there was an explosion. However, I cannot say for 100% certainty that was a grenade.
We only need 51%, thankfully. So
What if we-
can you say with 51% certainty?
What if we change the wording from grenade to explosive?
Yeah, no, we can do explosive. Yeah, that's what we're going to.
That
do,
also works.
Actually, if we go to court.
Mhm.
But my thing is, if the explosive was out of the picture because it was, not in their possession anymore, why didn't they just stop?
That's true.
That's true.
So
Whoever was under duress of the grenade.
Because I'm assuming they were trying to get away with using the explosive, which is why they.
Yep.
It
So
is
there's
timed
no
it wrong
explosive.
because it is delayed.
Yeah.
I say we go to trial.
Yeah. Who was that other unit? That was not Air One. Air One was Angel. That was Hughes, I think, right?
I can't be sure. One thing
It
I
was
can tell you,
Hughes.
I've been in a bench trial earlier today. They want to run these real fast,
This
and
is
I
going
don't
to be a
think
full
we've
trial
got.
because this is going to be murder.
It'll be a full one, so it's going to be a no contest plea.
No, it's going to be we're going to go straight into more than likely the courtroom.
And just all witness testimony directly instead of
Yep.
the
We're
report.
going to do probably
reference?
direct examination and cross examination.
Okay.
I mean, do you want to push these charges at a later time?
Do we need to? It sounds like we have everything.
I mean, we can. I mean,
We still have
DA,
the third pursuing vehicle on the scene. We have the other officer as well confirming with us. I mean, for what do we want to get out of it?
We have both of you guys already. I don't know if we really need a third person.
Hey, I trust whatever you want to do. If you want to do it, let's do it. If it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick.
What I was gonna levy out there, if they don't want to admit that it was attempted second-degree murder, but at least the two more or what was the original was 2, right? Because only 2 units were in range. Could it be?
Yeah, I wasn't
2 more
including
charges of-
myself because I was a tertiary unit. I
little bit
don't
further
think I was
behind.
really close.
Yeah, and I was the primary. It landed right between me and secondary. So, and I can articulate that thing blew up right behind the back right of my ear. But if they want to go with assault with a deadly weapon instead of attempted murder, that's going to cut a whole lot of time and find out. We can get this all shipped out right now. It depends on how y'all want to go. I'm
That
fine either
seems
way.
absurd for them trying to take your life. Maybe that's just me, but that seems ridiculous.
It was
Yeah,
closer to the secondary
mean-
unit, which is why I'm wishing they were down here. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, I could probably get Hughes down here if we really felt we needed him. I mean, kind of what we're going for here is, I mean, there is kind of a history of attempted second degree not sticking against violence against troopers. So, I mean, any chance we get, we probably should be taking it to try to set precedent that is what it is.
Yeah.
Because
it's accomplice, right? Because sorry, I wasn't even here for the beginning. I don't
so,
know.
yeah, it's accomplice to attempted aggravated second degree murder.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Real
We're just
mouthful.
gonna go ahead and have a little chitty chat. All right, come on out of here. There you go.
Oh, hello. Where's the bingo?
The bingo's this way. Come on. I'll take you right to the bingo hall.
Hi, Hannibal.
Ah,
And the other
All right,
thing
are we
that
going
I'd like
to share the
to
same card?
that
Did
I'd
you
like to
bring
say
your stamper?
too is that we can.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So what is news?
So they'll take this to
Simpson.
bench if you guys aren't willing to drop any charges.
We are not.
Well, then, yeah, to the bench then.
Yeah,
Alright,
that's fine.
see ya.
All right, we're all in agreement.
I'll I mean, I can call Hughes. Actually,
Are
see
there
if
any,
Hughes still
judges
would-
around?
I can get him to come down.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's the hinging point right there, I believe, is when we enter the tunnels and that thing exploded between mine and Hughes' car. Do you have the report started up?
Yes, we do have one available.
No, I didn't start.
We're looking at attempted aggravated second degree murder. And it's going to be a bench trial, sounds like.
Can you quickly let me talk to my clients to let them know that we're doing a bench?
Is there a judge available for another bench trial? Much simpler.
Oh wait, Hughes
We
is
have
there.
2 justices available that can reign on this.
Can you check with Hughes and see if they've
Okay,
started
sounds
their
good. We'll head
investigation
over. Any
report or not?
particular room preference?
Yeah, I'll help
he
you.
wouldn't. He wouldn't have started.
One will go to Gil's room, the other will go to the main room, main hall.
Yeah, I assume the attempted aggravated will be a full trial, correct?
We're doing the attempted, or the second in
Alright, there's a
Gil's
judge
office.
available.
The other is going to go into the conference room across the way.
Oh, so it's not going to be a full trial?
No, I'm not putting that full trial unless I feel that it is too much for the states to handle tonight.
No?
No, well, that's not going to be fun.
Okay. So
We're not going to be doing a full trial, so.
Hi, Hughes. It's Riggs. How you doing? You were in that pursuit with us earlier with Sidney Brown, right? Yeah, quite a bit earlier. Believe it or not, we're still working through the charges on that one. We're actually going to be going to a bench trial. Would you be available just to
I
come and
believe-
give your? Oh,
did you
sorry,
say she wanted it to be full trial?
No, she said she wanted to be just in the chambers.
Oh, okay. Right.
I don't know why
Okay.
you would do that from
Yeah, I
7
think
to
we're
7,
just
but-
going to do a chamber bench trial. We just might need your testimony because we're looking to push accomplice to attempted aggravated second-degree murder on both the primary unit and yourself. I think you were secondary when that explosion happened, right? All right. Think.
Hawthorne's here. Going to the general chamber here in.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
On the opposite side from Maestry's, Gil's office.
Chamber hearing room, DA side, right?
Okay. If
Yeah,
it comes
DA
down to
side
it,
for the
we'll do that.
other
Yeah. So if you become available,
At the
give me a
rate things
call.
are going,
If
this
not,
might
I'll call
become my
you if they
office.
want to hear your side of it.
I'm cool with that.
I think Gil will be.
He can
comes
take
around.
Yackles.